Yes, y'all, you know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925s, but we are still married to the games. Episode 250. Yes, sir.
250.
Halfway to that 300, baby.
Yes, sir. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router. Sorry, Ed Placencia, Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games. Thank you guys so much for being here. Y'all are the best.
Yes.
I love that 250 is halfway to 300.
I know, just for this year.
Just for this year.
Yeah, just till the party, from party 200 to party 300.
Really?
There
Ed,
you
you're
go.
going to call me out this early in the podcast?
I'm
You're really
just
going to call
saying.
me out this early? All right.
I got to do it before everyone
Somebody
else does.
Oh, gosh. I can do math.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Ugh.
Oh man,
Is it, though?
It is.
Mhm.
It is. We're back at it again. Y'all.
And what do we got?
we are.
We got night show.
Night show.
After hours.
The big N word for this podcast.
Okay. We're
Night
going there,
show.
are we? I see. All right.
I thought you meant Nintendo.
Night show.
Yeah.
No,
I thought you meant
night
ninja.
show. Night show.
Night.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Golly. Come on, guys.
Beautiful.
Right.
All right. We're good.
And it's not as late as usual,
No.
No.
but it's still a night
No,
show, baby.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Another
It's a
good
night
word.
show.
change.
It's more like an evening show.
A nice night show.
Ooh. A
Yes.
late evening, as it were.
Who am I starting with? Shoot. Ed, how you feeling? We'll start with you. You feeling all
Yeah,
right?
man. How's that cough?
I'm definitely feeling better. I've still got the cough. I've got my hot tea and my doTERRA lozenges here ready
Nice.
to be
Yes.
consumed.
I have tea too.
So,
what kind of tea are you drinking?
Is it
this is just-
chamomile?
This is just I think lemon zinger. Does that sound
Lemon.
right?
Oh, lemon zanger.
I know, right?
Can I tempt you with a cup of chamomile? Anybody know who that's
Chamomile?
from?
No.
Oh, shoot.
That'd be Lord of the Rings.
Ooh.
What'd you say? Lord of the Rings?
Hmm.
Really?
The
Wait,
first one,
is it the
Fellowship of the Ring.
First one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that when Gandalf comes in?
Yes, when Gandalf
Yes,
comes
it
in
is.
and he says,
Booyah.
something like, "I'll take red wine instead" or something. I don't really.
Nice.
No.
I guess I never imagined that they had chamomile in that land.
Yeah, man. They had all kinds.
Like
They had
that.
iPhones.
Look,
Pepsi?
man, if they got little people with furry feet running around, they can
Yeah,
have
they got
chamomile
rings
tea.
that turn you
That's true.
invisible. We ain't got that.
Right?
It's 2017. I ain't found a ring that makes you invisible yet. Ed, what's been going on with you this week?
Sorry.
You know what? It's been, despite the fact that I've been kind of under the weather, it's been a great week for gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Deal.
We had Sarah's sister and her family, the Tapmans, came over Friday night. We had a big game night. We played some Secret Hitler.
Yeah, baby. I
There you
love
go.
it.
Nice.
I love
Such
it.
a good game. We played that, of course. The Married to the Games guys and Stancil and Gil played that while we were at E3, and that's where we learned how to play it. And man, what
Yeah,
a
we
fun
did.
game that is! Jeez,
Oh,
Right?
So good.
so good.
Good. I'm
So
glad you
good.
enjoyed it again.
Definitely.
Did you play
Yes.
for 4 hours like we did?
We played, I think, 3 or 4 games. Sarah got too stressed out; she couldn't last another one.
Really?
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah,
Was she not good at lying?
she wasn't. And fortunately, she didn't have to until the very last game, because she was so nervous about being the secret Hitler.
Oh, that's
She was
right.
just like, I don't want to.
You know what's funny? I know that feeling.
I
Because
know
remember
you
when
do.
we played for 4 hours and I was never Hitler nor a fascist.
I
You were
know,
I was
right?
liberal every time.
You were liberal all the time.
Your true colors, man.
And I grew to not want to be a fascist or Hitler. I was like, you know what? I like doing this liberal thing and them just thinking I'm a fascist. And then at the
There
end
you
of the
go.
game, I could be like, in your face, booyah shaka.
That's right. And
There
and
you
you
go.
were a few times. You were like in your face.
And I was like, that's how I
Right?
do. I'm a liberal.
What'd it do?
What it do? So yeah, that was fun. We played for a little bit, and then after that, Nathan and I got back to our Borderlands, and that we played for 5 hours. I think.
What?
Are you serious?
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were
As
going to
a
say
matter-
15 minutes.
No,
Wow.
no.
That's impressive.
As a matter of fact, they're still downstairs now. Nathan and I started playing again tonight around, I guess we played another 5 hours tonight.
Are you
so-
serious?
Dude, that is amazing.
It's
You're
just
not through that game yet?
no
Yeah,
because
that's
we're
what I was wondering.
we're doing every side mission.
Oh, that's
Are you
great.
serious?
Yeah, and
So you're gonna get all
freaking
the
love that.
achievements?
You might as well
and
platinum this bad bear.
I'm telling you, it's been
It's Xbox, right?
He's
Yeah,
gonna
Xbox.
1K
Yeah,
it.
never mind.
I know.
You'll
right?
get your achievement.
We get a certificate.
Yeah, get some numbers.
Right.
You get a
right.
Coke
Like
and
you
a
got
smile.
1,000 for this,
Up that
500
gamer
for this.
score. Up that gamer score.
Exactly.
That's right.
But yeah, it's been fun. We were commenting tonight just how much is in that game. It's just like, man, this game is
Yeah, it's
huge.
crazy.
We're still going.
And voice acting
we-
all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
all the way through. And just tonight, we unlocked another new world on the map. And we were like, oh my gosh, how did we not even unlock the whole map yet? We didn't know there was more to find. But
Wait, are you doing Borderlands or Borderlands 2?
this is Borderlands 2. And
Oh,
yeah.
So good.
Mm.
Awesome,
So yeah,
man.
it's such a fun time.
That is great, man.
and it's just
I
really,
wish I'd have played it with somebody.
it makes a huge difference because I've played before by myself and did not last nearly this long. So it makes a big difference.
It still depends.
Nice.
Ugh.
But yeah, it's good. And we know that we've got Borderlands, the pre-sequel, coming up next. And we're like, man, I'm getting my money's worth out of this game. We've
Yeah,
played this
you are.
forever.
Oh my
Yep.
And
gosh.
yeah.
Are you only
Yeah,
playing
'cause-
it when he comes over?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you
Yeah.
have the Handsome Jack collection, right?
Right. Yep.
Nice.
So, yeah, I
so
just kind
great,
of-
man.
We're at the same skill level and stuff like that. So I don't want to
Good
like
deal.
play anything and kind of like leapfrog ahead of him or do anything like that. So we're just kind of saving it on our own and kind of our weekly, I guess it's been like a weekly routine since we've been here in Indiana. It's been really nice just to
That's great.
chill and get that couch co-op time going.
I don't know
Mhm.
about the rest of you, but I would kill for 5 hours of playing games right now. That
I
would
know
be
that's
amazing.
right.
Right? Be like all unshaven. I'm still in my pajamas. Just that would be amazing.
Just you sunk down in a chair with just covered in Dorito dust.
No, Dorito dust and soda.
Right.
And yeah, just
Jeez.
eating whatever you
You
want,
just
man.
empty cans all over the place.
Every time you
Mhm.
walk on the carpet, like an orange puff of smoke kind of Dorito
It just
Cheeto.
bursts.
Exactly.
flavoring kind of
You
poofs up.
finding
Dorito
random
Cheeto.
Oreos. You're like, oh, where'd this Oreo
Right.
come from?
Your controller is now like gold dusted.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, so
I love
good.
it. You look like a character out of Willy Wonka.
Oh man.
Carry on, sir. Sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. Continued my Assassin's Creed from the beginning.
Yeah, man. Tell me about it.
journey, and played through the very first one. Finished it a couple days ago, the very first one, and I'm glad I did. A lot of people were saying it's a horrible game. It's so bad. Don't play it. Skip right to
Right.
number 2. And I'm so glad I didn't.
Mhm.
Good, man.
It's just been, especially playing number 2, which the first one goes directly into 2. So if I had started with 2, I'd have been confused.
Oh, okay.
I'd have been like, wait, what's going on? What's happening?
Right.
It's
Yes.
it literally takes place maybe 10 minutes after the first one starts is where 2 picks up. So it's been cool. I'm actually enjoying the Abstergo part of the game
The
now.
Animus part of it? Yeah, Animus.
Yeah, the part where you're outside of the Animus. Just now that I understand what's going on, it's kind of interesting the story they're telling.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm glad I went back, and then
I could
people
not
were
give
right.
a crap about that for some strange
Yeah,
reason.
me neither.
When
I was
started.
I was like, yeah, blah, 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 Desmond, blah, 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 back to jumping up onto buildings.
And it's cool. I started the second one, I guess, yesterday, and continued a little bit more this afternoon. And it really is a huge jump forward as far as even story, and there's a lot of humor in there, and it's just been a lot of fun
Mhm.
seeing what changed and just being able to see how they were able to push it more. I know the first one was very repetitive, and part of me wonders maybe they could only do a handful of maps, and that's why you had to keep going over and over again.
Very
and,
true, man.
And
Very true.
So it's just cool to see what they were able to do with the second one.
Now, in 2, are you still Altair or are you Ezio? You're not Ezio. in 2.
Ezio.
Oh, you're now at. Okay, great.
Yeah, which is
He
fun.
has a lot of personality, and it comes out even more when and if you get to Brotherhood as well. I like his character a lot. He has
I like
way
his
more
character.
personality.
Yeah, definitely. And even the people around him seem to have a lot more character. It just seems happier. Everyone just seems like they're really enjoying themselves. And of course, when you meet his uncle and he says, "It's a me, Mario," I kind of had to giggle at that.
Oh, that's right.
That's awesome.
And then when was it? Was it Sunday night? We watched Assassin's Creed, the movie.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You took my place and watched it. And
I did. I liked it. It's
did?
kind of-
Liar.
It's kind of the same thing as the first game. I went into it hearing it was the worst movie that's ever been made, and I was like, "No, that was I
Let
enjoyed
me ask
that."
you this: do you like it like you like a good meal, or do you like it like it's the first time a new girlfriend made you a meal and you had to like it?
Good one.
No,
Like it was a
No.
good
Between-
movie?
yeah, it was in between. It's not the best movie in the world, but it was boy, I'm hungry on the way home. I'll pull over into Arby's and this sandwich tastes good. You know,
And this
And
will
it'll
do.
do.
I watched.
Okay.
I
It'll
watched
do.
it on the plane on the
Yeah.
way to E3, and it was fine.
yeah.
See,
It's
in
got-
those instances, I understand that. But if you would
It's got
have,
Fassbender, man. It can't be that bad.
if you would have gone to the theater and spent $30 for you and the wife to go see it, would you have liked it still?
Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't have
Okay.
been. I wouldn't have left mad or felt that I wasted my money.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really interesting is that after watching the movie, Sarah got really interested in watching me play the game.
Oh, cool.
It really turned her on to. What was really funny is that she was unfamiliar with the Abstergo Animus part of the game. And so in the movie, how they kind of have him hanging from the ceiling, kind of strapped into the machine, and he can kind of like run in place in the air or whatever. She said, "Oh, they should have just had him strapped to a table like in the Matrix." And I was like, "Well, in the game, that's what it is." And
It's
so it's
exactly
funny
what
that
you do.
a lot of people I know had that complaint, and it's funny that Sarah had the same one, and she had never played the game,
Right.
and had nothing to compare it
Yeah.
to. But yeah, we enjoyed it. Yeah, I had a good time. So
There you go.
Good,
Glad to
man.
hear
yeah, I was happy
That's
as well. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it, and it ended up it flew by for me. A lot of people, Nathan, my brother-in-law, told me that he thought it was really boring, and the time flew by for me. So I was
And
happy.
who is he? Somebody from the? Does he play Desmond? Like actually Desmond, or somebody else?
No, I think it's a brand new person.
Okay.
I don't even remember offhand, but he is the same person as the assassin as he is in real life, unlike in the game where they have two different voice actors playing the characters.
So is it like Quantum Leap?
I didn't watch Quantum Leap, so I'm trying to remember what it was like.
Well, like remember it was like himself, and he would know when he jumped into somebody else's body, but like
Oh,
you know what
right.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
His consciousness, like he knew.
Man, I
He
missed that
wasn't that
show. That was a
person.
good show.
Yeah, he knew he was going back, but he was still leaping into an ancestor's body, but it was still him, which was, I guess, kind of weird.
But look the same.
Yeah, he was exactly the same. Yeah, but
Okay.
everyone else knew him as whatever character it was back then.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So are you going to run the Assassin's Creed gamut on this then? Are you going to do Brotherhood next?
Yeah, I'm gonna go all the way
Oh.
through and even repeat the ones I've played before, just to kind of get me. I'm so hyped up for the new one coming out for Origins.
Good on you, man.
That I'm just gonna
Awesome.
go and I can't wait to play Black Flag again. So it'll be
Oh,
it'll be fun. So yeah,
gotta say, I'm a little jealous.
Mhm.
you can do it if you want.
Yeah, you can do it
Just,
too.
just a little
I'm
bit.
jealous
I
of
got
just
too,
the
I've
time.
got too much. I got
Right.
exactly. I got too much to play. There's no way I can get back to that yet.
Yeah. But
I mean, if anything, I would go back to Black Flag. That's for sure.
yeah. No, I don't blame you. That was a fun game. So yeah,
Man,
it's been
I'm so
good.
glad you're doing it. That's great. Good on you, Ed.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a good. Again, this nice lull in new games coming out has made it a good chance to go back and play these older ones. So I've been grateful for that, and
Mhm.
yeah, good gaming week for me.
Nice. Good.
Nice.
Good.
Good
Router.
deal.
Oh yeah, buddy.
What it
So
do?
we got Piper's topic of the week, which is very weird. Hula hoops.
Wow.
She's learning in school. Like I went to pick her up today from school, and she's sitting there hula hooping and actually doing it. She was
Really?
Nice.
She's like, "Daddy, look!" And I'm like, "Holy cow, you're actually hula hooping! That's amazing!" So we went to Toys R Us to try and find one for her, and they're like way too big. So she's like, Daddy, I think I'm going to practice some more at school before I get one. I said, well, that's a very big girl decision of you. Well done.
Yeah.
So that's
awesome.
what we're going to do. But she's all
Very
kinds of
nice.
excited for hula hoop. So good. That's great. That works. I'll take it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Man, week's
really
been good. This past weekend, we were not on the birthday party circuit, which was amazing.
That's
so
nice.
we were able to
Nice.
actually have a Saturday. We went to the pool and we just kind of hung out, and it was really, really nice. And so that's going very well. And we are headed to the beach on Sunday. We're going down to Seaside, Florida, up and
Nice.
through Thursday. So next week's podcast, I will be back in the car, probably, and it'll be joyous. So yeah, we're really excited just to kind of get away and just kind of unwind for a little bit, which is really nice.
Yeah, really.
My dad's doing great. He is back
Good.
in the hospital for round 2 tonight. So
Round
he gets
2 of the chemo.
he's getting his round 2 of chemo. The great thing is when they push back 5 days to allow him to kind of recover from when he was feeling a little ill, like it was probably a blessing in disguise, because he like all of his blood counts are so much better, like where they need to
Good.
be.
Oh, that's
he's
good.
he's eating well, so he's
good.
back to normal. He's lost all of his hair, which is really, like, I did not expect the first round to knock out like the hair like that, but he's owning it, so good for him. I mean, it's been great. So we were able to FaceTime with him this evening. He was getting ready to he was already ported, and they were just waiting on the chemo. So he's doing really well. So thank you, everybody. Everyone has continued to just send little well wishes and thoughts and prayers, and I couldn't thank you more. It's awesome. So I appreciate it, community.
Good, man.
So that's going on the gaming front. I finished Witcher Blood and Wine.
Yeah.
And,
Nice.
It was great. There was 2 different endings, and I talked about it last week. And I'm like, there's something else going on, and I was able to do the other ending as well, and that's up on the YouTube channel. And man, for DLC, I think I put about 25 hours into it, something like that,
Wow.
and it was
Yeah.
fantastic. I
Nice.
loved every minute of it. So I got my Witcher 3 fix. I don't know if I'm going to do the other DLC, because I've heard back and forth that it's good, and then it's not as good as Blood and Wine. So I think I'm done with The Witcher for a little bit, because I picked me up some Horizon Zero Dawn.
There you go.
And holy cow, that is so my game.
Isn't it awesome?
Nice.
I can't wait to be finished with this podcast so I can go play again. Like, that's how excited of
Nice.
a game. Like, I am getting up early, and like that's the first thing I'm doing. I don't care. Screw work. I'm playing this for a little while, because this is fantastic.
awesome.
This game is great. I love the fact that this game, like, Piper, for some ungodly reason, decided to get up at 5:30 in the morning. Of course, right while I usually game.
Right.
And so she was bothering mommy for a little bit. Then mommy said, go upstairs and bother daddy. So she's up there, and I love the fact that this game allows me just to keep playing, and she's watching and loving it. She was like, oh, get that, daddy. She's like, is that a machine? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, watch me sneak attack on it. And all,
Yeah.
like, we were just interacting. It was really cool. And I love the fact that this game was rated T for teen, I believe. And like, so it's kind of more of a family game, which is kind of interesting, but it's still got those
That's awesome.
elements those little grittier elements that I love.
Yeah.
So, man, I'm all in with this game. I've already put, I think, 8 hours in, and I just got it.
Wow.
I think I just got it on Friday or Saturday, and I didn't have some time to do it. And then this morning, my freaking headphones snap in half.
Yeah,
so
what's
I'm like,
that
I don't know. The gold's like, and I'm noticing like there's another little crease. So I put some little duct tape on it, and I'm good for a little bit until I can.
Do you like expand them real
Nice.
wide before you put them on your head or something?
No, not at all. In fact, they're at the lowest setting because I have a small head. So it's one of those things where I must have just taken it off and maybe stretched it out just a little bit too much, and it just went pop,
Yeah.
and the right headphone just snapped out of the little plastic. And so I taped it back up, and it's all good. I should be fine. So
That's annoying though.
I was like, I know it is. I was like, oh,
Especially
dang
for
it.
something that pricey, you know.
Yeah, because the golds ain't cheap. But I'm gonna thank you, everybody. I posted on Discord today some comments, and Chris, thank you for yours as well. So I'm gonna look into some
Sure thing.
other headphones, which I'm super excited for. And that's pretty much it, man. I'm all in with Horizon Zero Dawn, and it's so funny to hear a lot of the community goes, "There you go, Router. This is all you, man." I'm like, "Yes, it is." So the community knows me well. So I'm really looking forward to this, and this is going to be a while, but it's going to be a great ride. So I'm just collecting everything I can, like just doing absolutely anything and everything. I will probably go for the platinum on this.
Yeah, it's not a really hard one. To
Yeah,
get.
I was looking at the trophy list, and I haven't unlocked some of them, but the ones that are still out there, I'm like, yeah, I'll go back and do that, no problem. So I'm super excited for it.
And I did look ahead, not not when it came to like story content per se, but I looked ahead trophy wise on what I might need in able to finish them, because I kind of wanted, when I finished the story, the platinum hits.
Yeah.
That's why I went and did a bunch of the side stuff and did all those quests outside of the main story. So if you wanted to look ahead just to see, just on the trophy list to see, okay, well, not what they're called, but just say, okay, these are the things I'm going to need so that when I move to this other area of the map, I don't necessarily have to backtrack. Right. But then again, I mean, it's not, like I said, you can just make it happen. It's not something you have to really focus on. I just really wanted the platinum to drop the minute I finished the campaign.
Yeah, exactly. And I just go, like, before I start, I just look at the trophies, because sometimes when you get one, it unlocks another one. And so, like, even like the other day, I noticed, like, kill 30 humans with a headshot. So I'm starting to do headshots now to get all that stuff going. And so I just take a look at it. But yeah, I think this is definitely a platinum that I'll be heading toward. So I'm super excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah, if you decide that is what you want to do, you will have to do every single side quest. There's a certain set of side quests, and I think even in a certain order, you have to do them before. So you have to do these 3 side quests before another one unlocks, but those are required to get the platinum, and you can finish the story without having done those. But the game...
Is it like the hunting lodge stuff?
That's part of it, but then there's also some other like side quest specific, almost mini stories that don't necessarily have anything to do with the main story. Yeah, but they're their own little self-contained stories.
I'm leveling up to the point where a lot of the main missions are below me in level, so it's kind of pretty easy to go back and just knock them out, which is good.
And make sure, I mean, you'll have to do them for the platinum anyways, but as you go along, do the cauldron stuff, because they unlock a lot of abilities that will help you.
I just got that information about the cauldron, so that's one of the things I need to go do. So yeah, man, this game it's sick, man. It's right up my alley. I'm just supercharged for it. Awesome. So I'm like, it's one of those. This is one of those games where I'm like, oh man, I cannot wait to get up and play this game again. It's gonna be great.
I love that.
That is it for me, gentlemen.
Nice, Chris McCracken.
So this past weekend was a bit rainy, so we didn't really do a ton. But I think I said, I don't know, a handful of podcasts ago that we were toying with the idea of maybe looking at selling our house.
Yeah.
And we've pretty much just moved to straight, we're selling the house.
Nice, man.
So we have already, we had been talking with our realtor a little bit. She had been sending us, I don't know what it's called, but where it sends a listing of all these different houses that's in your area you're wanting
comps.
to look. And comps, just to look around and kind of see what we want to do. So she's increased those, and she's actually come to our house and visited it, which she hadn't been here since we bought it, to kind of look over some things and give us some ideas and tips on things that we might want to change or clean up or just make a little bit different that'll help the selling process and make our house look maybe a bit more appealing. So in our bathroom, it's kind of like a concrete floor, but it's made to look like stone. Because our master bathroom, when we bought the house, that was the one thing that we absolutely hated about our master bathroom. It's basically looks kind of like a vineyard, if you will. It's like it's got this stone, it's got this concrete floor, but it's made to look like a weathered rock, and it's painted kind of a reddish kind of hue, and it's got this stucco stuff. Yeah, it's really disgusting. And it was one of the things that we planned on upgrading, but since we've upgraded other things in the house, it was always pushed to the back burner because it was going to be the biggest thing to do. So we wanted to knock out all the little things. Well, now that we've decided we're going to sell, we're not going to redo the bathroom. That's just doesn't make any sense. But we are going to at least paint it, and then we're going to put tile in the bathroom, which is not very large, so that it's not going to take like a ton of tile. And then our house, pretty much every wall in the house in every room is a different color. Yeah. So we're going to have to paint them all. I think we're going to paint them some kind of medium gray or some kind of mid-tone gray or something. I don't know. Stacy picked out the color.
Some neutral so people can envision themselves in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
I would go a
some
light
kind
gray
of
'cause
lightish brown, brightish.
I would go with light gray because it's so hot right now.
It is. I think the color
An
she picked is
off-white.
some type of light gray. So
A chocolate froth, maybe.
Oh, yes. Muted mocha.
yeah.
It's called latte.
I mean, it's
Exactly.
annoying, but I also
Like
understand it
spilled
because
milk that's
when
been
we
left
were,
out for like 3 days.
good lord.
We could go on and on.
Sorry. Chris.
And we are.
I mean, do you want? I mean, y'all can keep going, or I can finish. my
No,
story.
Chris is
show.
ready to kill us right now. It's night show. So anyway,
So, anyways, we're doing tile and we're doing paint, and then we're gonna sell the house.
Nice. Are you excited?
so wait,
Have you-
where are you looking to move?
Nashville?
Just closer to work. No, not Nashville.
Mm.
Just looking to
come on,
work,
man.
move closer to work.
Nice.
So that's about, I don't know mileage wise, but it takes us about an hour to get to work. If we could knock that in half, that'd be
Yeah.
nice.
Wow. Yeah. You think? Yeah, that'd be
Maybe
great.
so.
It's just that the
Jeez.
closer that we get to work from where we are now, the price
The
of
more
the
expensive. Yeah,
houses just get more and more and more.
Oh, right.
So that's all going to kind of depend on what we can get a deal for. And if, we don't really want to get like a fixer upper per se, but we don't mind getting something where we know it needs a couple updates or something.
And you can do that over time, man.
Yeah, and we're not in a huge rush in terms of I mean, we want to get what we want to get. We don't really want to rush into it. So that is a little bit stressful in the sense that we've got to figure out where are we going to live if our house sells, because
Yeah.
everybody on pretty much all around the Metroplex, because we know a lot of people at our work are just happen to be selling their houses now and moving, and it's just a thing people are doing. Pretty much everybody's house
Summertime
is
is the
selling
time.
in like 4 or 5 days. And
Oh, wow.
and our realtor's like, I would be shocked if this took longer than a week to get, multiple
Yep.
contracts, assuming
Really?
you accept them. So we're expecting
Been
that
there.
once we list, it's going to go quickly. And then, but are we going to be able to find something we want? How long is that going to take?
Right.
Just because of, again, how expensive it gets in the areas we're wanting to try to look. So figuring out what we're going to do and where we're going to live and all that is, I mean, we don't really know exactly. We're just kind of trying to look at options at the moment.
Mhm.
Dude, all I can say is look now, and hopefully you'll have something before your house sells, because it is
Exactly.
stressful. We sold our house in 5 days and had to be out of there in less than like 25 days.
Yeah.
And like if you don't have something, it's like and then on top of that, if you're gonna get a rental until you can get your house, like it's amazing how expensive rentals are.
Yeah, and we're already exploring the options of where we're going to live, because we're pretty much assuming we're not going to be able to find something right away. Like we actually found a house recently in some of the comps that we were sent that we really, really liked. We haven't gone to actually see it, but I don't know if it's sold yet. I haven't looked at it again, but it had been on there for 3 days. I was like, it's probably already gone, and it's in a prime area, so I don't think it's going to work out. So we're already expecting that we're going to have to move somewhere. We're either going to move into a rental place, or I don't know. We'll figure
Nashville.
something
Oh,
out.
man.
We have a lot of people that have
Nashville.
extra rooms and stuff in their houses. If maybe that we could work out something with a friend of
Indiana.
ours or something. Yeah, no, none of those. That would be you're extending my drive to work. You're not shortening
It's
it.
quite true. Quite true.
You don't want a farm?
No, I do not. Stacy would love to live on a farm. I do not want to live on a farm. Or not a
Nashville's got
farm,
some
but
good
she wants
farms.
to have land and animals, and I'm just like,
I just want video games and Metallica.
yeah.
Exactly.
I want really good internet. They don't have that out in the country.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just going to fall
satellite
off
junk.
this tiny cliff.
But so outside of that, that's really all we've been dealing with is getting all that stuff in order and getting the ball rolling in that direction.
That's exciting,
Nice,
man.
So I've played a lot of games, but I haven't had like a big long session like Ed did. I haven't had a big 5-hour stint or anything. So
I think
I'm just
any of
gonna.
us
I
have
have a
big
bit of a
long
list
session
here.
yet.
I'm just gonna go through it. I played Hearthstone. Obviously, it's just
Yes.
easy to pick up and play like on the go. It's the only game really that I have on my phone, and the only one I ever care to play. I'm not.
Are you enjoying it a little bit more now, or like are you getting back?
Yeah,
into,
I mean,
like,
I've just been sticking
classic
to
decks
standard.
and-
I haven't even gone into wild. I think I've gone into wild once. And the thing is that I want to get some of the newer cards, but I haven't been playing enough to know what's a good card to get or and I have a lot of dust, so I could craft something really cool, but it's like, well, but I don't
Oh,
want to
dude,
craft
yeah.
something just because. I want to know it's a card that I feel like I really want. And I just haven't played against enough people or researched. Like before, back when I used to play Hearthstone, like I would research when I knew expansion was coming out, I'd read up on
Yeah,
the cards.
me
I'd
too.
find out the ones that are like, kind of like the ones to go for and to try out. And I don't really know about any of that stuff right now. I've just been playing with what I have, and it's been fine, especially if I stick
That's
in the
good.
standard decks. I've played some more Overwatch. Stacy, in fact, I think she just shut it down a little bit ago. She was playing earlier with her friend
Nice.
Katie.
Nice.
And then I played a bunch of Paladins over the weekend.
Ooh.
Played
Oh,
some
wow.
more NBA Playgrounds. Eric Green hooked me up with a code for this game called Deformers, which is it's a multiplayer game, but they're just these little blobs, and you just roll around and try to knock the other blobs off of the platform, if you will. It's really
That
fun.
sounds
There's
cool.
not. It's not. I don't know exactly how long it's been out. It's a Ready at Dawn game. So the same people who made The Order 1886 made this game, which is kind of crazy
wow.
to see. Like
Oh, snap.
because
Oh, so it's 45 minutes long?
well, I mean,
But it
depends on
looks
how you play
really
it.
good.
But like the Order 1886 was hyper realistic and all that, and about vampires and werewolves, and then this is just about little blobs that want to knock each other off of a platform. So it's kind of funny to see the swing of the different directions that they went. But it's a fun little game. There's not a ton of people online, so it can sometimes be hard to get a match. But when you get in there, it can be a fun little distraction.
That's cool.
The Golf Club 2 dropped today, which I was a big fan of the Golf Club 1, so I bought it. I played a little bit before we started recording, but they're having some server issues on their launch day.
Mm.
So
There's a shock.
I haven't been able to get in there and play. Sometimes I get in there and I'll be playing a match and it'll kick me off because I lose connection.
Dang it.
That's been a bit of a
Man.
bummer, but I took Mr. Ed's kind of lead and I tweeted at him because I could see that they were explaining to a lot of people and be like, oh, we're so sorry about all this. And I was like, hey guys, it sucks that you're having issues, but I can't wait to play the game whenever it gets going. Hope it gets fixed quick and just give them some positive encouragement because
Nice,
I know
man.
they're getting
Nice,
hit
man.
like crazy.
Yeah.
With all the people like, why can't I play my game I paid $20 for or $30 for or whatever it was. And then the last thing that I played, I played Wayward Sky, which is a PSVR game that I had actually bought on sale.
Oh, wow.
Wayward sky.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I bought it,
Listen to
I think,
you.
a couple of months ago, or not months ago, a couple weeks ago. I think it was on sale, and I just hadn't gotten around to play it. So I finally played it this weekend when Stacy was taking a nap. It's only about maybe 2 or 3 hours, I think. I don't really know. I didn't look at what time it was when I started, but I did play all the way through in one sitting.
And you
it's
didn't
a-
throw up. Congratulations.
It's a third-person game, so you're kind of like the
Oh,
camera, or like
cool.
God mode in a way, and you're controlling this little character. And it switches to first person whenever you have to do these different puzzles in order to advance to the next
Neat.
area. And it just tells a cute little story, kind of Pixar-esque in the story-wise, not necessarily the animation, but it was a really, really cool little story. And I'm really happy
That's
that I had played the demo, so I knew I kind of had an itch for it and that I kind of was going to like it. But I was really happy to see that it did turn out really well. There's this little storytelling mode that goes into it that tells you the story of the main, like kind of like the main villain of a way to kind of show how he got to villainy and how he got there. And I'm building it up a little much. It's not quite as dark as that. But it was a really cool story. And I tweeted at the developers for that one as well, let them know I had a good time playing it. And turns out they're also the same people. They're going to make this other PSVR game that's called Dino Frontier, which was another one that I was looking forward to, and I didn't even know that they were
cool.
the same developers. So I'm like, oh, awesome. So if it's anything at all, kind of like, I mean, I really liked this first outing that they did, so I'm really looking forward even more now to their second one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
And
great,
then
man.
I also another reason that I kind of wanted to make sure I got that game played was because my office is like the smallest room in the house. And one of the big things our realtor was saying is like, we've got to make this room bigger. So I've got to take out a bunch of the stuff that's in it. And one of the things
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
probably
sure.
going to end up having to do is pack up most of the gaming stuff.
Oh,
I'm going to keep the
And my
PS4.
futon?
Yeah,
That's
the
where I
futon's
draw the
going.
line.
The chair is going. The green screen's getting folded up and put away. All the stuff. Stacy wants me to take. I think they will want me to take all the stuff off my shelf. They want me to do everything to make the room look as
Yeah,
big
make
and
it big.
bright as possible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the problem with the gaming stuff is there's just too many cords. It doesn't matter how nicely I wrap them all up, it still looks like a
Yep.
mess. So it's like, well, the PSVR, the PS3, and maybe the Xbox One are probably going to get packed away.
Oh, yeah.
I'll keep out the PS4, but one console is not going to be too bad in terms of the cords. I can probably hide that away pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to leave the Xbox One out, but
Good luck.
if it's going to
It's a little
be
large.
problematic, then I'm just going to have to pack it away, and we'll just have to see what happens.
Nice.
But that is it, I think.
Nice.
Nice, man. Mr. Patillo,
Whoop.
Hi.
what did he do?
Oh
you
man,
doing?
traveling and traveling and traveling. We
Yeah,
were a little all over this last weekend. We were in Virginia, then Ohio, then Colorado, then came home.
What?
I know, right? It makes
That's
perfect
crazy.
sense, doesn't it?
No, it made great sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to see anybody, which sucked. It didn't work out to see anybody when I was in
Oh, man.
Ohio.
Oh, it didn't. That's
I know it was a bummer.
Ambassador fail.
I know. I think I got my ambassador card revoked
No, you didn't. It's all
Aw.
good.
over the weekend.
You are working. It is your job. So
I know.
Right.
It sucked. I was just looking so forward to it, but didn't get to link up with anybody. So good weekend though. Regular, outside shows. One day, actually all 3 days it was beautiful. And before we got to each show, it had like downpoured the day before.
Oh,
And so
man.
it was
man.
like everything was cooled off, and so we had beautiful days. We were at theme parks both days.
Oh, that's nice.
King's Dominion, then King's Island, and then we did the Greeley, Colorado Stampede.
Oh yes, come on.
What is
I
that?
know.
What?
It's like a
Did you get to rope a
bullfighting-
pig?
No, man. Come on, man. They had put all the animals away by the time we had got there, but it was like bullfighting and whatever else you do at a stampede. I don't know how that stuff works.
Matador.
Like where you run from bulls?
No,
that's
where the
that's
clowns
in
come
Spain.
out
Oh, a
Yes.
rodeo.
and do the thing. Sure, they
That
just
would be-
call
yeah,
it
that would be a rodeo.
They call it the Greeley, Colorado Stampede. Is what it's called.
I was like, did they kill the bulls for real?
I don't know how it works.
They slaughter them right there.
Yeah, they make them upset and then they run from them
Well, all right then.
in
Great.
clown outfits.
It's basically real life Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna just drop this bomb here and run from everybody.
And see ya.
Well
Well played, Ed.
So the only gaming I got in this week was Mario Kart on the Switch.
Oh, nice. How was it?
Nice.
Fine. It's it's Mario Kart.
So that means
it
you've
on the
got to
bus?
still have your charging cable. You didn't lose the second one.
I
Oh, yeah.
yes, I didn't. I just bought a USB to USB-C cord, and then just
Oh, there
used
you
my
go.
regular
Oh, nice.
chargers.
There you
Oh,
go.
that's cool.
And so the anchor I bought, remember that anchor, that power brick that I bought for E3?
Mhm.
Yes.
It can power the Switch. So
Nice.
Oh, good. Good.
I use that on the
It's
plane.
you.
It can. I take that back. It can charge the Switch if it's off. If I'm playing it, it just drains really, really slowly.
Gotcha.
So it'll be at like
I'll take that.
12% for forever.
So it stems the tide a little bit while you're playing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh,
nice.
that's cool.
So I was using that on the plane and in the bus, and Toby's kid came. One of Toby's kids came for the first two shows. So me and him, took the Joy-Cons off and played Mario Kart against each other, and that was really fun. Spanked him, of course,
Like you do.
and
Like
I
you
do
do.
with children's. And then I actually got there was like 4 or 5 people. No, there might have been 5 or 6 of us on the bus, and I actually got everybody to do team battle 1-2 switch,
Oh, nice.
which was actually really fun. And
Oh, that's cool.
because nobody had played that stuff, so doing quick draw and the sword fighting and however you find the marbles in the box and all that. So I got to you have to be around the right group to present the idea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got
Yeah.
to demo the Switch for him. That's
right.
great.
It just happened to be the right group. One of the guys was over on the bus because he's a big tabletop board game guy, and I was like, y'all trying to play the new Nintendo? And so we did that whole thing. So that was fun. Except we got spanked that time.
Aw.
Nice.
But it was a good time in video gaming to just enjoy that with other people.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And then I downloaded an RPG demo. Number one, the Switch needs more demos.
Mm.
I know
Okay.
demos are hard to make, but if you can't be at Redbox and all that stuff, you need more demos. Like Redbox kind of has become demos for me because I'm like,
Right.
I'll just Redbox a game, try it, see if I like it. If I love it, I'll buy it. Or I'll beat it in 4 days and only have paid $8 or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
But the Switch, I don't think those games are at Redbox. I don't think it'd be. I guess they could put the little cartridges inside, but the way the whole thing works, I would just think
Yeah.
that there's no way that'd be possible. So I was looking up demos because I was really hoping they had an ARMS demo, because now I'm hearing the game is really fun and I need to try it. And so I was like, doggone it. And I never did it during the beta whenever they had that out. And so I was trying to get that demo. It's not available. So I downloaded Sega 5, or I don't know how you say it. Complete.
Disgaea,
anyway.
right?
Disgaea. Is that what it is?
Disgaea 5?
I don't know. Yes. What are that game?
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, that game.
Yeah, that way. So it like scratched the itch because I wanted to play a story on the Switch, like since I don't have Zelda anymore to play.
Right.
And Mario Kart, I mean, it's Mario Kart, but I played a lot of 8, and so this is just 8 over again.
Yep.
So
And
there's no new tracks?
No.
Oh,
I mean,
man,
it's got the
really?
DLC ones built in, but I had bought the DLC ones when they came out.
Right.
And so it's just like,
So it's Mario Kart 8.
yeah, and so
Ugh.
I'm just like going through getting 3 stars on all the cups.
Yeah, because you know all the tricks and the tips and where to go, and
yeah. So
that's
you
no
know,
fun, man.
It's not. You're right. It's not. And
Sorry,
so
didn't
I
mean to
want it
put
to
salt
be-
in the wound.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
My bad, man. That
No,
really
no,
sucks
I'm
for
just
you.
saying- no, I'm just saying, like you're right. It should be fun, but it's just not. And so, especially playing on like a plane or where you don't have internet, and like even going online, like I don't know. I don't know if I'm just like really spoiled with Destiny and The Division and games that I've, or Overwatch, like games that I've only been playing with people I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're playing on a system that doesn't offer any kind of party up situation where you can talk. And so it's just like, just getting on there and playing with random people, and y'all win some, y'all lose some, and then that's it.
So is the app, which I know you were always talking about being on a plane and everything, but the app with the voice chat thing, that's not out yet, right?
No, I haven't seen that come out.
Okay, so you can party up with people. Well, not party up, but you can play with people, but it's all just like silent. They're just happen to be there. You see their gamer tag if you're
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. And so, anyway, so that's just kind of lame. Still loving the Switch. It's just my selection of games right now is just a little lacking, especially since I'm not doing any other console gaming or PC gaming.
Yeah,
Right.
man.
I did jump on that Steam sale today, and I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
the Steam's got some junk on sale, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm installing
they do.
I'm installing my other hard drive in 2 days or on Thursday.
Yeah, man.
So
I was just
I'll
going to
actually
ask how the PC's going.
Yeah, so I'll have room to actually install things. So right now I've been just getting like my main programs over there, like my Premiere and my Cubase and stuff like that, my plugins so I can, mix the show okay. And so that's been happening, but like as far as like, playing any games, that hasn't been happening. So I'm a little bit in a funk, like I've been talking about, haven't started with the PS4 at all. So just kind of like
You'll get
needing a couple hours to just like sit down and turn my brain off and play some games. It's been very go around here, which is good, but at the same time, when you're missing out, and me and Jenny talk about this a lot. You can be a different person when you don't have your hobby than when you do have it.
Yep.
Very true.
And so I haven't had it. And
Will
so
you
that's
get
like
it
a bummer.
this week? Are you traveling this weekend?
Not traveling this week. So hopefully I'll be able to get some stuff going this week and going into 4th of July. We have 2 shows, but they're here in Nashville, so that'll
cool.
be good. They're like little for like a camp that Toby does. And then in 2 weeks we'll be doing that Jesus Freak cruise.
Oh, that's right. That's coming up.
Right.
Man, it's got to be tough for you, man. I don't blame you for being in a funk because you've been on the road a lot and it's been like spot dates and here and there. And then you got to come back and be a husband and a father and like, have some
when you're
family
making
time.
up for
And
lost
so-
time. Exactly.
Yeah. That takes a lot of time to make up anyway. And then, once you get more in a routine, then it's like, oh, okay, now I can probably play some games. But I feel you, man. Totally.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And I want to get back into
sweat it.
Let's Playing and stuff like that. And I was looking at my new computer and I was like, man, I could download XCOM 2 back on here because I never really dove in.
Oh, yeah.
And it would
that's
actually
right.
probably play it right, and I could download OBS and it would probably record it right. And so there's all these things that I'm wanting to do. It's just like, how you ever been like, man, I'd love a sandwich, but I just don't want to make it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It kind of feels like that. You know what I'm saying? Like installing all the new stuff over to the other computer has been such like just like a long like trying to get this serial number to work over here, but not work over here anymore because because all these things that I've bought over the years for the VO stuff and everything, and so just getting everything over on its own is like okay,
Yeah.
But and I'm sorry to complain. It's all first world problem.
No, man. No.
It's what's going on
all
with you.
good. Yeah, we all go through it, man. You got to be a husband and a father first, so handle that.
Exactly.
By all means.
And
got some good kids
gamer real close in third.
Right.
It just hasn't felt like that.
Games is just slowly but surely creeping up. It'll get there. It's all good.
I know. We'd have to have a talk if you were like, yeah, I just got home from the tour, and so I sat down and played for 5 hours and ignored my family.
Then we definitely would have talked. Yeah.
Especially if it was Borderlands. You're like, okay, well, hold on a second.
Yeah.
We do have some good news, though.
What's that?
So the day this show releases will be the 31st or the 30th for everybody. It'll be out. But there's a guy that listens to the show.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm probably going to butcher his last name.
Sweet.
Jay Dombrowski.
Uh-huh.
At Jaybird371, who's getting married tomorrow, July 1st.
That's
right.
To his best friend, Faith. They're both gamers. They listen to the show. He's inheriting a great stepdaughter in Leah.
Nice.
And
that's so awesome.
They're becoming a family, and they're going to go gallop into the sunset as a gaming family. And so we wanted to give him a shout out, man.
Definitely.
That's
Congratulations.
amazing. Congratulations.
Have a great weekend.
Congratulations, Jay. And good on you for having your anniversary really close to a holiday, because then it makes it easier to remember.
Yes, it does.
He'd be like, oh, snap, July 4th's coming up. I need to buy a present.
That's so great.
Yeah, it is.
Jay, shout out to you and your family, man. I hope that I hope everything goes perfect, and I'm glad that you're marrying your best friend.
Yeah,
that's the best.
Congratulations,
That
guys.
is the best, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't understand. Like, obviously we've seen things fall apart, or we've all been a part of a thing where we've seen a friend with a girl, and we're like, man, they shouldn't do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I love when people, and I know calling each other best friend is like overdone and it's done a lot, but it still means a lot. Instead of like, I've been with her a long time, like we have a kid together, so, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I owe it to her. She my old lady and everything.
Exactly.
Especially when she really is your best friend, and you don't say that just because that's what people say.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Like Ed and
I mean,
Sarah.
I decided to put a ring on it. It's all good.
Right.
Yeah. Like, when I got to see Ed and Sarah get married, I was like, see? That's what you do. That's how you do that.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah. There it is.
You marry the girl that you can't stand being without.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
So, Jay, do your thing, baby. We can't wait to see pictures.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Play 5 hours of Borderlands like Ed.
There you go.
Together as a
That'll
married
be the
couple. It'll
honeymoon.
be great.
Yeah.
It'll be 15
co-op
hours.
situation.
Right?
It'll go up.
All right, I'm out. Router,
Yes, sir.
you got it?
Let's do it.
Well, let's do it.
All right, let's go through this. We got new releases this week. We got some Titanfall 2 DLC, the War Games.
Oh, yeah.
Free
Xbox One,
DLC,
PC,
by the way.
PS4. Is it FREE?
I think it is. Free 99.
Ooh. Free 99. I like that. We also have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, the Master Trials.
Not free.
On the Switch and the Wii U. That is not free.
I don't think so.
Nintendo's going to take all your money on that one.
I won't be getting it. I think I'm actually selling it. I'm selling Zelda.
Are you
You
really?
are.
In like
I thought
2
you already
weeks' time.
did.
I was gonna,
Oh, okay.
and then I held on to it, and then a buddy of mine texted me the other day. He was like, "You still got that Zelda?" And I was like, "Yeah, Doc. Come get it, Bishop."
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome. We also have Diablo 3 Rise of the Necromancer and the Eternal Collection as well.
There you go.
I'm assuming that's expansion?
Sure.
Probably, maybe. Sure, great. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Not a Hero. I believe that's DLC.
Also,
Wow.
not playing it.
Come on.
Come on, man. Come on.
No,
Come
sir.
All right, Homefront: The Revolution Beyond
Jose,
the Walls.
real quick question. Chris, you never played more than the demo, right?
I don't think so.
A Resident you would know.
That's convincing.
I mean, I feel like I played the game at a friend's, like little parts of it, but not in VR.
Well, no, I knew you wouldn't play more of it in VR, but I didn't know.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I dabbled with it a little bit because a friend had it on Xbox at his house, but I didn't play like, oh yeah, let's sit down and play this. No,
Gotcha.
that was not what happened.
Got it. So let's see. Homefront: The Revolution Beyond the Walls for Xbox One, PC, and PS4. Darkest Dungeon: The Crimson Court for the PS4 and Vita. As Mr. McCracken said, the Golf Club 2 Day 1 Edition for the Xbox One, PS4, and PC.
That was a fun game, huh, Chris?
Yeah, it's the
the
crazy
server
thing is
issues
that
fixed.
it's more simulation golf than it is arcadey, but it doesn't feel super simmy. And I don't know, it's really
Like
once you
Tiger
get the
Woods?
hang of.
Tiger Woods.
I never played Tiger Woods.
Oh,
Honestly, I have outside of I never played any of the golf games outside of Mario Golf was the last
Bubble
golf
Burst.
game I played, and then I played this one and just really took to the first one. So when the second one was coming out, I definitely knew I wanted to do it. And so you can create in this one, you can create clubs. So I'll eventually at some point I'm gonna make, or they're called societies. I'm gonna make a Married to the Games one. And
I was
then,
about to say, I was like a
That
three
sounds
wood.
amazing.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
I know.
I get it. A
right?
golf club.
Yeah, I was like,
Okay.
oh, that
Driver?
sounds awful.
Yeah.
It's like you make this much lift.
See,
you can spin
I
it this
build a
much.
part of it, and then I mail it to a friend, and then he builds another part,
Oh
and then we
my
put together
gosh.
this one. It's
Oh,
1-3 on.
man.
Goodness gracious.
But
Sounds
you
terrible.
can go through and you can pick all, you can make your own courses, which I don't ever dabble with that stuff. But you can also pick courses that other people have done, and you can put them together and do like a tour. And then you
Oh,
can
cool.
put it out there for people to play, and they can play your tour, and all the people who've played it, like they're playing around you in a way, kind of like how Forza does the drive avatars in a way, where the person's not actually playing, but you're playing against when they previously did it. It's similar
That's
situation. So it's fun, and it's to go out there and just play against your buddies and see who can come in the better.
Is it
score and
all
everything.
online?
I think there's some stuff you can do offline. I don't know for sure because I really didn't get to dabble with it very much this go round. But the majority of it is online. So if the online's not
okay.
working, you're severely limited.
That's my only man. Dang
There's
it.
not a single player campaign like you're
You know what I'm
going through
saying?
the.
It's golf. What do you need to be online for?
Well, because all of the what are they, courses or whatever? They're all
Yeah.
custom made. So they all
All of
live
them?
online. I mean, there might be
Oh, wow.
there might be a handful of them that are not, or there's ones that are probably mimicked
So they don't
off
have like
of.
Pebble Beach and
There's ones that are probably mimicked off of actual courses, so they're almost the same thing. But I mean, they're all made. They have a custom creator in there, so you can create all your own custom courses and whatnot. And you have to access. Think of it kind of like what was the Mario Maker? Like all those things that the people made, they were all online. You couldn't play them without that. Now, I think there was some stuff you could do offline, but it wasn't like a ton of it because it's made to be an online
I cannot
game.
stand when games like that are only like if the servers are reactive, you can't play at all. Like golf, like it seems like that you should be able to work something out where you can just play golf by yourself.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I agree.
But again, it's all about what they sell. If they say, "Hey, we're making an online game, and this is how it's going to be," I don't fault them for it not having an offline mechanic or an offline thing. If they're like, "Hey," I mean, if an MMO, if Destiny comes out and says, "Hey, we're an online MMO-ish game," and then all of a sudden internet goes down and I can't play anything, I'm not mad at them because they told me up front, this is
I
what it
understand
is.
that, but that seems like a team thing,
A team thing?
where golf doesn't.
Oh, well, I mean, but again, there's arcadey or other sim games where they're built that way. It's just if they tell me up front this is what my game is, and I know that going in, I just don't feel like I've got room to complain when
When it
there's
doesn't
an issue
work.
with it. Yeah, I mean,
That
if
makes
it's
sense.
if the online doesn't work, and I knew it was an online only game, like if my internet goes out of my house, I mean, I can't really complain when
right?
they told me their online game is online only.
Right.
Yeah, I think I didn't know at first when you were saying it that it was online only. That's what my question was.
Oh, okay. Maybe I didn't say that. Sorry.
I thought that like you were trying to get on there with your buddies or trying to download the things, and that wasn't
No,
working.
no,
but
no.
I wasn't aware that it was a online only golf game, and if there's if the server's jacked up, there's no golf to be had.
Yeah, it's online. All of the, and again, I'm sure there's something that you can do offline. When in the first version of it, the golf club, the first one, I don't ever remember having online connectivity issues. So you can't, when you're on there, you can't tell what's offline or
Online and
online.
what's
Like it's
on,
all just
right.
seamless. So it's not until you lose connection that you notice, oh, now I only have access to XYZ, which I only experienced for like, it was maybe 15 minutes tonight. Like I haven't really gotten in there to poke around because we were getting stuff ready for painting at our house for most of the night. I got to dabble a little bit before we started recording. But yeah, and it's a cheaper game as well. Like it's not a $60 release. I think the first one was $25 and this one was $40. But it's also supposed to be they added some more things in, which again, I haven't really been able to see what all those new things are. But it's supposed to be a little bit of a bigger release, but it's still not like a full $60 retail release kind of thing. So
there you go.
All right.
Once everything, I'm sure next week I'll have a better update on it. I'll have gotten to play it a little bit more.
There you have it. Coming up for the Xbox One and PS4, Final Fantasy 15 episode Pronto.
Which I hear is surprisingly good. Pronto, this DLC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For the this says PS3 and Xbox One. I'm assuming Shovel Knight, Spectre of Torment. That doesn't make any sense that they would say PS3 and Xbox One. I would assume it's PS4 and Xbox One. But anyway, Shovel Knight, Spectre of Torment. Valkyria Revolution for the PS4, Xbox One, and Vita. Danganronpa, another episode, Ultra Despair Girls for the PS4 and PC.
That's a strange game.
Right. Elite Dangerous Legendary Edition for the Xbox One, PS4. And Micro Machines World Series for the Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Micro Machines. We have no oops, dude. We are on a roll, people.
Nice.
Or we're just shelling out too many opinions that nobody can really.
Nobody's listening.
Fact check on, or nobody's listening. Either one.
Yeah.
That's it for me. Back to you guys.
Chris McCracken.
Okay, so we're gonna start with what is the biggest story to have happened since we last recorded, and that is
Nintendo.
The
Nintendo.
SNES Classic, or
SNES.
Mini, or whatever you want to call it, is officially announced. It's going to be releasing September 29th. It is $80, and this time around, it only has 21 games.
Right.
But
you still won't be able to find it.
I thought he was going to say they're going to have 21 consoles.
Yeah.
So they're going to make 13 of them.
They probably will.
So they're releasing it here, obviously, like I just said, but they also are going to be releasing it in the UK and I think Japan as well, like a Super Famicom version of it.
Yep.
And the UK version was up for pre-order. So there's the first good step, because the NES Classic was not available to pre-order at any point in time. You just had to go wait in a line or go to a store and get one when it released. This one went up for pre-order. It has not gone for pre-order in the US as of recording. And it sold out in 20 minutes on the pre-orders.
Wow. That's actually a long time.
With the games, Chris.
20 minutes is a long time.
And I think that it may have only been pre-orderable from the Nintendo store in the UK. I don't know if it was actually, you could pre-order it at different retailers, like at game stores and whatnot. You might have been able to. I haven't seen where all it was you could do it from. I just know for sure that in the UK Nintendo store online, you were able to do it. So they did come out and say, okay, look, this is going to be like a limited thing. They're only going to sell it through the end of this year. They're not going to sell it past that. But they did say that, hey, we're going to have significantly more units out there than we did for the NES Classic. We're ramping up production. We're going to have even more available. They brought the pre-order in the UK, so I'm assuming they're going to do it here in the US as well. So that's a good thing. The controllers this time, it comes with 2 instead of just 1. And they are a little bit longer, so everybody kind of the big running gag with the other one was like these little bitty controller cords because they were only 3 foot. They're now going to be 5 foot, so that's better. But I mean, that's still not like massive.
You still can't get back to the couch or anything like that.
Your eyes are still going to get bloodshot from staring at the screen. Not.
The one thing that I will say, not really seeing this, it looks like the connector is the exact same connector as the one that was actually on the Super Nintendo. It does.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it's a mini version of it, but if it's the same size, I've got my Super Nintendo controllers, and that cord is long. So that would be awesome, but I really don't think that they would have done that way.
No, I don't think so.
But that'd be awesome. All right,
give us the games list.
Okay, the games list is Contra 3, Alien Wars, Donkey Kong Country, which, whatever.
Yeah.
Earthbound, Final Fantasy 3, F-Zero, Kirby Superstar, Kirby's Dream Course, The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, Mega Man X, Secret of Mana, Star Fox 2, which is a game that never released.
Yep.
So this is the first time it'll ever be playable by anybody in the public. And it's, as far as we know, it's only going to be here. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Hyper Fighting, Castlevania 4, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG: The Legend of Seven Stars, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, and Super Punch-Out.
And Yoshi's Island.
And Yoshi's Island. Sorry, I had to scroll down.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So I would like to get one. I feel like this is worth it, if for nothing else, Super Street Fighter or Street Fighter 2 Turbo, because that's an expensive game still if you just go and find it, and you need to have a Super Nintendo. I do like the Mario Kart. I think out of all the Mario Karts that I played, Super Nintendo and N64 I played the most, and I think out of those two, I played Super Nintendo Mario Kart the most. So I have fond memories of that Mario Kart. So I really only want it for those two games. I mean, I'm sure I'll dabble with some of the other ones, but there's not really anything else on this list for me that I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to have that. Because I would have really liked it to have like the Ninja Turtles game or something like that.
Yeah.
I played a ton of that, but you know,
Pilot
it is what
Wings.
it is.
Just
You could have that.
Well, the ones for me on this list, Donkey Kong, Earthbound. I'd probably dabble in Final Fantasy 3. Mega Man, only because they're just painfully hard. Star Fox 2. Ghouls and Ghosts were good games. Super Mario World, I think, is one of the best games ever released ever by anybody. I never played Super Metroid, so I'd like to try it. And I loved Super Punch-Out. So this list is doing
I never
pretty
played
good for
Super
me.
Punch-Out.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
And I really like
It
that
is
was
so
the main
good.
reason I wanted the NES Classic, is I wanted it for Punch-Out.
Super Punch-Out is great. I mean,
Nice.
I really liked it. Ed, does anything pop out off this list for you?
I never had an SNES, so definitely nothing connects. I think I remember playing the Donkey Kong one at a friend's, and we had a good time with that. But
Yep.
I mean, I definitely recognize a lot of the names, and it sounds like a pretty good list.
Yeah. Tim?
Not really.
Yep.
I would probably go Super Punch Out though, because I used to play
Oh
Punch
my
Out,
gosh, that game was fun.
and that would be fun.
Yeah. I never played Secret of Mana either, but that was a big game back in the day. And obviously I never played the Zelda. I never got into Kirby either. But I feel like he's
I
like
never
the
really
newest.
got much into the Kirby stuff either.
I feel like he's like the newest original, which is sad because he's so old now.
Yeah. I mean, so I feel like they're definitely trying to have a better outing with this one than they did the NES Classic. They're not pulling any of this, we had no idea you'd want this kind of garbage that they did the last time.
Yep.
So
Actually, quite the contrary. I think they were like, we knew exactly what we were doing. That's why we're pulling the classic so quickly, because we're getting prepared for the SNES.
well, but publicly facing, all they ever said was, "Oh, well, we made extra stuff. We didn't realize it'd be so popular."
Right.
Which was a
No, as
ridiculous
far as
statement.
manufacturing, they dropped the ball on the manufacturing part of it, but I think they had this plan the whole time. And I think once everything's sold out, they're like, nope, that's it for the classic. We're done, because they're moving on to the next one.
Yeah. So I do have Amazon set to alert me whenever it goes, for pre-order, and I'm gonna try to.
Will you alert me?
Nice.
Please.
I'm gonna try to get one in there and pre-order it, but I think I said this on Twitter. It's like, I'm not about to jump through a bunch of crazy hoops for some little bitty thing. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna go wait outside of a GameStop at 3 a.m. the day before, just so I can get a little bitty Super Nintendo. It's really not that big of a deal to me, but I would like to have one. So we'll just have to see what happens. It's definitely, I mean, it makes you think that they're just going to follow suit and keep on going and have an N64 Classic. And who knows, are they going to do a GameCube and then the rest? And
I'd probably buy one of those. I never, because that was always in my brother's room.
Oh yeah.
So I never got one of those. And so I never really, I'd like to get my N64 on.
I would say of all the ones, like if they did every NES, Nintendo console through, let's say, before the Wii, if they did all the ones up to that point, out of them all, if you said, you can have one, we're just going to give it to you, I would want the SNES, just because I have the most fondest memories with that system out of any other Nintendo system that I ever owned.
Yep.
Right.
So I got my fingers crossed that I can get my hands on one. I'm sure a lot of people out there in the same boat. There's like, oh, I got to get this. And there's going to be even more clamoring this go round, since everybody knows how it went with the NES Classic, which I'm a little bit afraid that what they're going to do is going to be like, well, we did make more, but there was even more demand. And I'm just like, man, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to see. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that maybe I can get my hands on one.
There you go. I like it.
Good luck to you, sir.
Yeah, I don't know how to say this guy's name, so I'm going with Neil Blomkamp,
Okay.
Nailed it.
Sure.
the director
Nailed
of
it.
District 9, Elysium, and
Ooh.
Chappie.
Ooh.
He's
Okay.
expressed a lot of want to make a video game, which I think would
Nice.
be dope. Just because
That would be really cool.
the way he did those 3 movies, and I didn't see Elysium and Chappie, but I remember, obviously watching the trailers and thinking, I like the way this guy does movies. And I did watch
Yeah.
District 9.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
District
even
9 was great.
and even talked about Portal 2 and Halo being some inspirations for weapons that he's used in his movies.
Oh, nice.
And so he's trying to get his studios off the ground, Oates Studios, which will use Steam as a way to help fund future films. And he debuted a film called Raqqa at E3 this last year. And then you can see it for free, but then you pay for like bonus material, concept art, scripts, things like that.
Huh.
And I guess he was doing a interview with Jeff Keighley.
Yeah.
And was just talking about how much he would love to do a video game. It just he wants to get his studios on their feet, and then he knows it's such a time suck.
Yeah.
But he said he'd like to do something along the lines of Titanfall, Halo, or Battlefield, which obviously that's setting the bar extremely high.
Yeah, that would be incredible, though.
Right. But one of the things that he's talking about doing in the meantime is porting some of his stuff to VR and like to the Oculus Rift or the HTC Vive.
Oh, nice.
And so taking some of his non-interactive stuff and making it fully interactive. And I just thought that was cool. I love to hear when Hollywood is in love with gaming, and me and Chris got to go watch that roundtable that Jeff Keighley did while we were at E3.
Yeah.
And got to see some of those guys talk about, some of the guys were from sitcoms, some of them were for gaming. One guy was the director of which movie? 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Yes.
And so watching them and hearing their love for video gaming and the video game industry made me real happy. So I loved District 9. I thought what they did with the budget they had was pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my gosh!
And then I really wanted
the
to
story was great,
right? And I really wanted to see his other movies, but I didn't. For some reason, I just didn't make it out there.
Yeah. I
I
never saw District 9.
Yeah, I thought it was really
Oh
good.
man,
So I just
it's a good one.
any more, the more talent that we can get into the fold, I think the better. And I think directors have a great way of storytelling, and I think that's become such an important part of video games in the last 15 years. So
Yes.
Absolutely.
bring it on is what I say.
Right?
Yep.
What else you got, Christopher?
So Blizzard has been making a little bit of news here lately with 2 of their properties. First one I'll start with is Hearthstone. They're making some changes to it. They said, starting with the next expansion, anytime that you open up a legendary, you're guaranteed that it will not be one you already own.
Oh,
So-
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
whether it's one that
wow.
you've gotten out of a card pack or if it's one that you've crafted with dust, you're guaranteed that you will never get a duplicate legendary.
That's
So
pretty cool.
that's
Nice.
really cool. And then
Okay.
on top of that, again, with the next expansion, you are also guaranteed to get at least one new legendary within your first 10 packs that you open. So that was a cool
Done.
little change.
Sweet.
And then on over to the Overwatch side, they know that they've had a lot of issues with
Gabe
some
still won't get
duplicates.
any legendaries.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
people
know what he's
getting
about to say.
duplicates like a mug. And
Yes.
I saw, I think it was my buddy Kale posted on Twitter one day, I got 4 duplicates. And I was like, oh man, that's crazy luck. Ever since he said that, I've had like 10 loot boxes where it's 4 duplicates. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me with this duplicate
Wow.
stuff. So they're going to
Getting
make some
Patillo'd.
changes to the loot box system, and they're going to significantly reduce your ability to get duplicates. And of
Yeah,
course,
we'll
some of the
see.
people have said like, okay, well, wait a minute. If I'm not getting duplicates, that's good. But also on the other hand, I'm not really getting as much currency and then I can't buy the things that I want if it doesn't end up dropping.
Man, people will complain.
Yeah. I
Which
know.
one do
No,
you want?
seriously.
But he said that they're actually going to compensate for that as well because they're going to increase the amount of credits that you do get from duplicates and from just when you get coin drops. He said, so you should see no change in the amount of currency you earn. If anything, it might even go up a little bit. So that is all super positive news that I, for one, am very welcoming to because I play both of those games and I don't like getting stuff I already have.
Right?
Yep.
And I want to get the cool new stuff. So gimme.
So gimme.
So gimme. I love it.
So Ed, there might be something getting added to your library before you're even through the whole thing, but there's been a teaser for Assassin's Creed Rebellion,
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw this.
which will be for the handhelds. And when I say handhelds, I mean the phones, Android and iOS.
Ooh.
Looks to be a strategy RPG style, but it's just only being like teased right now. So you see like
yeah,
little figures, and it's
they look like Funko figures.
Yeah, they do.
They look like Funko figures. But Assassin's Creed Rebellion, and obviously with a lot of things that come to Android and iOS, we have no idea when it's coming out.
And how much?
But
Right.
we know it's coming. And so I will probably be playing it only because like I do have a deep love for the Assassin's Creed games, even though I don't play them all the way through, all of them. But I think that at the time when they came out, especially number one, and this is why I don't like when people hate on it so much, it did something a lot of games weren't doing yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so I think they were pushing the envelope, and it's hard to push the envelope and know how you're supposed to do it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're pushing the envelope. You're the first one there. You can't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The first
Right.
guy to play the trumpet wasn't Miles Davis.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Nice.
but this should be fun. I liked the little, what was the one you rage quit?
India.
Oh, the Chronicles.
The Chronicles. Yeah. And I really liked
Those were
Chronicles.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I loved those, and the way they kind of took the franchise and put it on, 2D side scroller situation.
Yeah,
and
I thought
really
it
fun
looked
and
really
challenging.
cool. I never played it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I thought the idea of it was really
Yeah,
neat.
the style was really nice.
So I think strategy RPG could be really, really cool.
Yeah.
For this on the iOS. And I need some more iOS games, man. I'm just playing like the same 3 on rotation. It's Clash
Yeah,
Royale,
me too.
Balls, or
Right.
I play one, I forget what it's called, Burrito something. But it's really fun to me.
Yeah, I would like
That's
any
great.
iOS game that captures my attention other than Hearthstone. That's the only one
Right.
that I'll play and am not bored with in like 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Burrito Bison.
Ah, nice.
That's another
Oh,
one.
that sounds good.
Actually, you know
Bison.
what? Speaking of iOS games, when Black Flag had just released, they had that iOS game where you could get extra stuff in the game by moving your ships around and doing all that. I played
That's
the
right.
rest out of that
Yes.
too.
Mm.
Yeah, with
I did too.
I did play a lot of that.
Kenway's Fleet.
Yep.
Play
Yeah,
that.
that was good
I actually,
stuff.
I might even still have that on my phone now that I think about it. I've not played it,
Nice.
but I think it's in my little games drawer or folder. Or
You
whatever
should go back
it's
and
called.
play it.
There you go.
Yeah,
What else you got,
maybe.
Chris?
So some information about the Xbox One X. Whenever it launches, you will be downloading the 4K assets that'll be optimized for it to the Xbox One X. But if you are just a regular Xbox One or Xbox One S owner, you will not be downloading the 4K assets for, let's say if it's Forza or whatever games you're doing. And that's a big contrast from the PlayStation 4 Pro, because when a game ships right now, it just has all the upgraded assets already in the game. So even if you're just a regular 4K or if you're a regular PS4 Pro owner, you're still having to download all the exact same content.
Oh,
And that can be a big difference for people who are not using the Xbox One X, because if they're not going to be able to utilize those assets anyways, it's kind of pointless. Like, for instance, Forza Motorsport 7 on the Xbox One X is going to be over 100 gigabyte download. And a big chunk of that is due to the fact that
Wow.
the 4K textures and assets and all that stuff in the game. So it doesn't say in this particular article what the version minus those 4K assets is, but I bet it's significantly
Oh
lower.
my
Even if it's like
gosh.
60, that's 40 gigs in just 4K
That just
stuff.
seems
Mhm.
ridiculous to me. I don't get that.
for a car racing game.
Yeah, I know. And,
I know,
and usually the
It's not even
Forza
an open
games
world
are not
situation.
usually the racing games are not super heavy on the environment stuff anyways. I mean, they're nice, don't get me wrong, but usually they're a little bit lower in the texture rate and everything because you're going so fast throughout it, you don't really notice it. But yeah, that game's going to be massive. So I like the idea that they're doing
100
that.
gigabytes.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Gracious.
But I like that they're kind of looking at, okay, which console is getting this served up to them. Let's just give them what they need and not overdo it.
Mhm.
That's a cool thing.
Yeah, there you go. Do you have anything else before we move on to Mr. Ed?
I do not.
Eduardo, do we have free games for both consoles or just one right now?
We've just got them for Xbox right now. Do you want them now, or do you want to wait until we have them both?
You know what? Let's just get a little sneak peek of what's going on.
Alrighty. Yeah.
Oh, and for our
I like
Xbox
it.
Oneers out there that don't follow us on Twitter, or anywhere else, Overcooked is $8.50
That's awesome.
right now on the Xbox One digital if you got gold.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
need to get that.
for
I
our
think Chris McCracken would say get that.
Yes, I would say that. And also for our Xbox Oneers who don't follow us on Twitter or anywhere else, we also have on the Xbox side an official Married to the Games club. So if you want
I
to join
did see
that,
that.
go join that bad boy.
Not a golf
All
club.
of 5 people I think are in there.
Hey.
Hey man, humble beginnings.
That's right.
right.
Well, you just started it. I wasn't coming for it.
Yeah.
Just stating.
I'm gonna come for this thing that I'm a part of. Dag nabbit.
Talk about my friends like that. All right, Ed.
Let's see. For the Xbox, on the Xbox One, we've got Grow Up, July 1st through the 30th.
And that's the sequel to Grow Home?
I think so. It's something related to something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Also for the Xbox One,
Sure.
from July 16th to August 15th, because a game called Runbow. So I don't know what that one is.
That's the sequel to Rainbow.
Or Rambo.
Oh, Rainbow.
Ooh, I like
I
that.
don't know.
Ooh, well played.
A Rainbow Runbow.
I'm
Ooh.
Rainbow. I'm Rumbo.
Exactly.
On the 360 and Xbox One, we've got for July 1st through the 15th, Kane and Lynch 2.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
That is old school,
and-
man. Golly. Come on, y'all.
I never
Well,
heard
it's a
of that.
360 game, so you know.
Oh, that's you
that's
said
true.
360. Sorry.
Yeah.
And also for 360 and on the Xbox One with backwards compatibility, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean.
That is all you, brother.
There
I
you
give
go.
that my stamp of that was a fun game. It's all the first 4 movies.
Really?
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
snap.
Yeah, and they do a really good job. And I remember when it originally came out, it came out like 2 weeks before the 4th movie released. And
Yes, I remember that.
so it was just kind of weird to know exactly what happens in the movie because
Right.
we saw it Lego style beforehand. So
And I got to give it
But,
up to Johnny Depp. He goes and visits kids in the hospital as Captain Jack Sparrow and does it
Mhm.
the whole way.
Yeah,
Like he
man,
doesn't just like come
stays
dressed up
in.
like, hey, how you guys doing? Like he's
Right.
doing the character when he shows up, and it's awesome to watch.
yeah, it really is.
So if you feel like crying, go look at that.
Right. Let's see. Over on YouTube's, are we doing that yet?
Yeah, man.
Nice.
It's your show, baby.
It's my show now. This week, The Witcher 3, Blood and Wine, Part 13, Tim's alternate ending he told you about.
That's right.
Yay.
And also put up a short little film from E3 week when Gabe and Gil arrived at the airport.
That was insane.
You'll want to watch because
should have-
that'll make you happy.
You should have told me that you were going to put it up. We could have done the side by side because I'm videoing on the other side.
I know, right?
Oh, my gosh.
No, we can put that up as a separate video, and that'll just give us another video to be up there.
It
Gabe's
should just be
POV.
titled "Gabe Gets Possessed by a Demon." That should be the title. It's
Love
so
watching
great,
the
man. I
people
loved it.
in the background. It's so much fun.
Yeah, they're all like, "Who is this
Like,
girl?"
why is he being so loud?
That was
Oh,
so much
that's
fun.
why.
But they are bumping California Love, so I'll let
Right.
it go.
I'll let it slide this time.
Yes. Let's see. Looking at our top 10 YouTube videos for the week, combining average watch time and views, the week of June 19th through the 25th. Number 10, Gabriel Patillo and his computer build.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
done.
buddy.
Look at that.
Nice.
Man, my mom must have been watching that thing.
People want to know the specs.
Yeah, how you put it together and put it into when you put the hard drive in the.
Number 9, Hugh, Part 11, Ending. Number 8, Married to the Games, Episode 249, Jesus' Original Jersey.
Yeah.
Nice.
Things
Hey.
in glass in Tim's room.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you.
Signed with blood.
With track lighting, museum rope around it, the whole nine.
Right?
I charge people now.
Number 7, Watch Dogs 2, Part 6, Bottom Dollar Complete. Number 6, Married to the Games reacts to the Sony Press Conference 2017.
Yeah, we did react to that thing.
Yeah, we did.
The whole thing.
That was fun.
Number 5, Watch Dogs 2, Part 5, Bottom Dollar Fail.
Mm.
Number 4, Watch Dogs 2, Part 19, Paint Job.
Ooh.
Number 3, Gabe and Chris react to The Last of Us Part 2.
Snap.
Wow.
Falling
Wow.
down 2 places.
2 places.
Oh, snap.
To number 2, Ori and the Blind Forest Part 14.
No way.
I jumped the gun on that one. Sorry.
And number 1, Watch Dogs 2 Part 48, Ghost Signals.
Thank you, South Korea.
That was that's crazy.
I
That's
know.
weird, man. What is going
bizarre.
on?
I like it. It
I
can't
don't
stay
get it.
number 1 forever.
Nah, man.
It's got to
We'll
move
try.
around. He'll be back up
Next-
there next week.
Next
Tim,
week. Next
Tim
week.
must not have watched it this week.
I bet that's it.
No, you doubt me? Come on now.
I just can't imagine that you watch it every week.
Yeah, it's pretty close. It's kind of like my devotions.
Yeah. I gotta say too, I put it on Twitter, but man, a lot of love going out to Sega right now. They're doing this thing called Sega Forever, and they're offering up old school Sega games for free every week. And
Yeah.
you can pay for them to be app free, but I forgot about it. I wanted to
That's
mention
really
that
cool.
because I think they have like Altered Beast right now and Sonic the Hedgehog, Phantasy Star 2, Kid Chameleon, Comic Zone, and coming up next is Virtua Tennis, which I loved
Yeah.
on the Genesis.
wrong.
Maybe I played it on.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Probably not the Genesis because it was a good looking game.
Nah,
Probably the Saturn.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Dreamcast. No,
was it?
I don't know.
Virtua Tennis, was it first on Dreamcast?
I have no idea.
And here comes our first oops
Exactly.
Oh, man.
in
It's
like
okay.
4 weeks.
Thank you, Eduardo.
Yes.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Ed.
guys.
Thank you, Ed.
You're welcome.
Well, every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was no different. We asked you guys about E3, what you thought, what your takeaways were. Over on the Facebook. You know what? Discord first.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Easier to read from there.
Nice.
Vetstone, I thought this E3 was a good year. However, I think it was a down year compared to the last 3 or 4 E3s because we have absolutely been spoiled. I thought that there were too many games that were shown at last year's E3 that were shown this year. I get excited when it's something new, unexpected is shown. With that said, Anthem is the game I'm most looking forward to. I've also got my eyes on Shadow of the Colossus remake, AC Origins, COD World War II, and God of War. And I've got
Nice.
to say, I watched Anthem gameplay today, and
Ooh.
yes, please and
Really?
thank you.
More so than after the E3 showing.
You know what's funny? When we were there, I didn't see it because I was traveling during the Microsoft press conference, so I
okay,
never
right.
saw it. So today
Yeah.
was actually my first day to see it, and
Oh, gotcha.
I
Take
don't
money.
Pretty good,
fully
huh?
believe it's going to look like that, but yeah, it looks awesome.
really,
Yeah, no. I think it'll be downgraded to something. I mean, on PC it
you
may
watched
look
the
like
gameplay
that.
trailer of it,
Well, I watched what they showed at Microsoft, which was gameplay. I'm assuming it's the same thing.
and you're saying it won't look that nice?
No, but it still will be an awesome game. I don't think it'll look quite that. I mean, I'm not saying it's gonna look bad. I'm just saying I don't think. Rarely do I see something at an E3 and think, "Yep, I'm gonna get exactly that." It's usually not.
Really,
the same.
my memory is not that good. Like, let's say it's that, except downgraded a little bit. It's still gonna feel like that to me as long as I can fly.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I won't burst your bubble.
Thank you. Mark Boucher. I think E3 was good this year. Everyone did great for their presentations in different ways, and there was some games I'm excited for. Honestly, Nintendo is the one that truly stole the show for me with Mario, Kirby, Yoshi, and the fact that we have a new core Pokemon Switch game and Metroid Prime Switch game in the works. Here's the thing. I agree with you, number one. And not that Nintendo stole the show necessarily, but I'm glad that there's a Metroid game actually coming to Switch, not just the 3DS, and that there's a Pokemon game coming to Switch. It might get me into Pokemon. However, the problem I continue to have with Nintendo is when you say I'm excited about Nintendo because we get Mario, Kirby, Yoshi, Pokemon, and Metroid. Like there's just never anything new. You know what I'm saying? It's not like how I'm feeling about Anthem right now, or how we felt about Destiny a couple years ago when it came out, or The Last of Us. Like these are brand new things that we're like, oh snap, that's brand new, and heck yes.
Yeah.
MLS Chop. I thought E3 was just okay this year. Honestly, with Xbox following Sony's lead with nonstop trailer after trailer format, it's much less interesting to me. I miss having several execs and devs coming on stage to talk about their games. If these are just going to be an hour of trailers, why do we need E3?
Aw.
Ooh.
That's a good
I
point.
would watch an hour of trailers.
I absolutely would.
I like the trailer format. I do miss the awkward programmer having to come out and talk in front of
No
5,000
way, dude.
people.
Yeah. I like when they talk about the game, but so many times when they start to talk, it can really get, okay, let's move, let's go, let's go.
know.
Like,
That's a problem.
There's
I'm
a
wanting my
happy
cake
medium
and
in
eating
there.
it too. Yeah.
yeah.
I miss games not working in person.
I could use just a little more people talking at the Sony one, kind of how they did last year. They had just a little
more
bit
than
more.
nobody talking barely?
Yeah.
Sean
Well, I mean,
Layden came out
Sean
for like
Layden was
3
on there for
sentences.
he was on stage for I think 2.5 minutes total when you
Yeah.
add it all up. I wouldn't mind a little bit more. I don't think Microsoft was bad, but they were right on the edge of too much for me. I definitely didn't like the whole shoutcast thing. It's like, don't bring that kinds of stuff. That doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
There. But I don't mind like the dev from, and here's blah, blah, blah from BioWare, because we're debuting, world premiering their game. I don't mind them coming out and saying like, we're so excited for you to see Anthem, blah, 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 and then you go. I'd be happy with that.
I kind of miss, I miss the days of like a freaking Beatle coming out or Usher coming out and performing. Like those years, like I would sit at my computer like, oh snap, who's going to come out? And I don't even remember who it was from the Beatles that came out. I think it was Paul that came out and presented like the fact that they were going to be in Guitar Hero or Rock Band or something like that.
Rock Band.
And I was like, that is awesome. He's
Yeah.
a Beatle. And then Usher came out and did a song from a game or something like that. And I was like, I was like, here we go.
Remember Flow Rida did too for Ubisoft's press conference.
Exactly. That's what I miss.
Nah, I'm done. I'm all right without that.
No, you know what? I would much rather have just game after game after game.
Yeah, I miss the spectacle of it.
But that's the thing. Like E3 is still the spectacle of it. So, like he's saying, why would we still have an E3? Because that's where everything originates from.
It's more than that 1 hour presentation.
Right. I mean, once that presentation is done, then it's everywhere. So that's your initial, holy cow, I'm seeing this for the very first time. And that's what's so special to me. That's what I get hyped about. It's like, this is the first time I'm seeing this. This looks incredible. I'm going to get it.
No.
And I want to know more.
Don't get me wrong. I still want the trailers.
No, I got you.
But I'm just saying,
you.
like, the in-between, I miss devs being applauded for their work. You know what I'm saying? That's
That's
the only
true,
time that
yeah.
they got that love, as well
Yeah.
as, like, the little, sugar on top that you get from maybe a star coming out.
That's what I want. I want, whether it's heads of development teams or maybe a few more of the execs from each of the different platform holders. The thing about gaming is that I feel it's good, just like any other medium, whether it's movie, music, whatever. It's good for them to have celebrities. It's good for them to have like a developer
Yes.
that like, man, that dude is a rock star right there. That's, like with Kojima when he
Amen.
came out, and now that was a bit over the top, but I mean, I'm a big Kojima fan, so I ate that up. And
Yeah,
like, I want to
exactly.
see Cliffy B come out and like drop the mic with some cool stuff. And he doesn't have to go on and be like, we've looked at our charts and we've realized that people really need a blah. You don't have to be boring about it, but get out there and like market up your
Sell the
game,
thing.
like sell the cool that is what you make. And
Amen.
it's good for the medium to have celebrities and people that are like, oh my gosh, there's like all those people that I was seeing when we were at E3. It's like, it's good for that to be part of our medium and
I
our
totally
hobby.
agree.
That's
Yeah.
what I
It's-
like.
it's
I don't want to see
it's
the Snoop Dogs
reinforcement.
and the dude that plays for Madrid or whatever. I don't care about that. I want to see the actual people that are really in the thick of it and responsible for me having these cool things I get to play. That's what I want to see.
But you got to admit, to have the soccer players come out and talk about FIFA in England, like, that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
But what I'm saying is, and they may well be, but I think a lot of times when artist, a music artist or whatever comes out, and not always, but there's times where they come out and you can tell, or whenever Kobe Bryant comes out to talk about NBA 2K or whatever game that was a couple years ago, you can tell they were just paid to come out and say cool things about this. They don't really know about it. They don't really care about it. Now you get those few that do, but you can tell when they're just being paid to be there. And sure, even if I really liked, like if Metallica came out, because they made a Metallica rock band, if they came out and like, oh, we're so excited to be part of this, that would be lame. And I'm a Metallica fan. But if they were like, man, I play Rock Band every day, watched it and like did a demo or something, that'd be cool. But usually that's not what it is. It's obvious that they were paid just to be there because of who they are. And I don't want to see that.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a fine line.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, it was like when Ubisoft did their thing for Just Dance and they brought out the singer BB something. And I just remember
BB-8?
thinking, I wish.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's the thing is, I would have recognized BB-8. You know, I was like,
that
there's
was
nothing
good,
worse
brother.
for me than when they were like, and here's so and so, and I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel you. Over on the Facebook, Herman Scott said, I thought E3 was okay. I got to see the Spider-Man game that you guys super assured me I would see.
You're welcome.
You will see it.
That is funny. We were like, yeah, definitely go see Spider-Man.
Yeah, when we were at
They
that
showed
bar, I went over to Sean and was like, yo, Sean, can you just make this happen? I promised it on the podcast. So
Yeah,
I'm going to need you to make
yeah.
that a thing.
Yeah, could you just, push the button? Over on Twitter, Jeff the Android at Remake Yourself. Nintendo made all of my wildest dreams come true. And the other two were great, but needed more release dates overall. Shout out to Ubisoft.
Nice.
Yeah, I can see that. That would have been nice to have a few more concrete release dates.
Yes. Amen. Except just 2018.
Early
Exactly.
2018.
Yeah. I totally agree with you.
Christmas, whenever.
Yeah. Christmas sometime. This is coming out in a season.
The future's really big, but somewhere in there is this game.
In our lifetime.
Exactly.
Available when it is.
Exactly. That's good.
That's actually a really good one.
Nailed it.
They're like,
Nailed it.
make sure you get this game day one. You're like, just day. Okay. Is that it?
Just day one.
Not okay. I'll make sure to do that. Philip Hamilton B at True to Chad Dad. Oh Lord.
Oh, Gabe just stroked.
True to Dad.
True
to Dad.
That was my favorite
Chad.
Aztec warrior.
Dad.
That's right.
Tryptophan Dad.
He knows who he
Tryptophan.
is.
He's eating too much turkey.
True Tech Dad.
Oh,
Hey,
jeez. Oh,
there
wait.
it is.
I deciphered it.
Yes, you did.
I can read the Matrix all of a sudden, guys. All I see is blonde, brunette, redhead.
Whoa.
I know Kung Fu.
Whoa.
Yeah, show me. So he said, really looking forward to the 1X. My son and I have been super excited about Project Scorpio since I heard about it. Good for them.
Yeah, that's
Because
awesome.
that is not something I've heard a lot, is that people are excited about that. Because it seems like we've known it's been coming for so long that it's hard to be like, here it is, and it's called the X, but there's nothing really to talk about because we already know everything. So I'm glad to hear that people are looking forward to that.
And honestly, that makes us very spoiled because we get a lot of this information before like the great reveals, and then when the great reveals come out, we're like, yeah, we already knew that. Move on.
Exactly.
I want that
Kalo
mystery.
at Kalo or Cal0. Looking forward to Cuphead, Crackdown 3, Xenoblade 2, Mario, Wolfenstein 2, Assassin's Creed Origins, 1X, and I ran out of money.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know, I'm
Cuphead,
excited
definitely.
for Cuphead, but and I'm probably going to end up getting it, especially
gonna be
because it's
so
only
hard.
$20, but I'm just like, I do not think I will ever finish that game. It's going to be
I know,
so
it
hard.
looks-
I'm going to be
it's
like,
gonna be so hard.
I know, right?
but it just looks so good.
Why?
It looks
I
amazing.
love that style.
Yeah,
I
it
really should
really
just
does.
watch a Let's Play or somebody stream it. That's really all I should do.
Gabe,
Because I am
that's all
probably
you.
not going
I
to go
got
past
you.
the first level. It's
I
probably
got
going to be
you,
that
baby.
hard for me.
It's gonna be so hard.
I know.
Oh, dang it. I don't like the controlling two people thing.
Oh, do you have to control
I
them
didn't
both?
know you did.
I don't know. It just always
No,
seemed like there
I'm
was two
out.
people on the screen when I watched it.
Yeah, there
Maybe they're
usually
playing
is, but I
co-op.
figured you just did one, or maybe it was
Co-op?
a co-op thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
I
that
don't
could
know.
be co-op. That would be fun.
I know it's co-op at some points, but I just didn't know if it was always 2 and you could opt for the co-op. I just haven't
Right.
seen
Yeah, I don't know.
gameplay where there's only one person on the screen.
I haven't either.
Interesting. I didn't even notice.
Oh, doggone it. If
Yeah,
you have
even on
control
their
2 people, I'm
marketing
not playing
material,
it.
I think it's got the 2 different cupheads.
It's kind of like Brothers. Remember
Cuphead
Brothers?
Brothers. Yeah.
I hope it's not. If
actually,
it's like Brothers, that's
was
definitely
great.
never happening because that game was hard, and that wasn't. It was hard to control those guys, and that wasn't a hard game.
That was
It's
so
like there
funny.
ain't no way.
Tim beat that, right?
Yeah, it was great, man.
Yeah, it was good.
I actually, once you overcome your initial fear of, oh crap, I've got to deal with 2 people and 2 different sticks, it actually worked out really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you, Chris. I mean, I played a little bit of the beginning. I was like, no, I'm done with this.
Yeah. I wanted
That's
to like
funny.
because I heard the story was really great, but I was just like, man, I cannot wrap
Yeah.
my brain around this.
Yeah, what is that? I hate that because like I feel like I'm more coordinated than that.
That's the thing is you go into it thinking, oh yeah, I can do this. And then you're just like struggling. It was hilarious.
Well, it's just like the whole invert thing. Like I have. It seems like each time a new Call of Duty comes, it's like, okay, I am gonna train myself to not be. No, it can't happen.
They're adding too many buttons. That's the one reason I'm glad they're going back to World War II because I'm like, I'm glad I ain't got to worry about an exosuit and how to put a shield up on this level, but use a boost jump on this level or run off the wall. Give me a gun and a grenade and tell me go kill them bad guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
buddy.
so looking forward to World War II.
Yeah, we'll be playing that one for sure. They need to work out co-op. Does Call of Duty have a co-op yet?
Well, they do like
Man,
whatever
they
the zombie
should.
version is. That's usually co-op
No, but like
of
in
some
the
sort.
in the game.
I don't
Oh,
think
it's
they've. That's the last. I think the last one they had co-op in was World at War. Maybe.
Yeah,
I
we're gonna
could be
get
wrong
hoops
on
that for sure.
Which, by the way, Virtua Tennis was released in 1999 on the arcade, and then in 2000 on the Dreamcast.
Oh, okay. There we go. Good to know.
Look at
Good to
that.
know. I owned it on the Dreamcast. Love those games.
I was
bought
right on the Married to the
sequel as
Games cast.
well. Yeah, you were. When it came to a console you never owned.
You dang right.
Well, you know where to find us. Golly. Facebook.com/married to the games, Twitter.com/MTTGcast, marriedtothegames.com. Come check out the forum. YouTube.com/married to the games, like Ed was talking about. And now on Patreon, patreon.com/MTTG. Whoop. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. And Chris McCracken.
Rate us on iTunes because we never give you any duplicates.
Ooh,
Oh,
we ain't gave you
nice.
not one duplicate, 250
We're
weeks,
looking at
y'all.
you, Blizzard.
All
We're looking at
legendary.
you,
What's
Blizzard.
up?
I'm looking at you every other podcast ever.
That's what's up.
I'm just kidding.
Reposting all your old episodes as if they're
Yeah,
new.
yeah, we don't want to hear about what happened in 09.
That's some backwash crap.
Yeah,
Come on now.
Looking at you, Netflix, trying to release Twin Peaks like it's something new.
Oh, speaking
Right.
of duplicates, well, kind of. Stacy's one of those people that she's gone back and she's listening all the way from the beginning.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the other
Oh,
day
I
we were
love
in the
her.
car and she was on episode
Tell her
3.
thank you and we're sorry.
She's not going to like us when the next time I see
Yep.
her. Next time she
She's
sees
not.
me and Tim, she's going to be done with us.
She's not going to be a big fan.
Wow.
Shoot, those first couple had to have been rough to listen to.
Thank you and we're sorry.
Does she have a thought?
I mean, I didn't ask her specifically about it. I figured I'd let her get to 10 and then ask her what she thought. But she was enjoying it. Once she finished 3, she went straight on to 4.
How long was the first episode?
I think like 30 to 45 minutes.
Was it?
That's what we used to
Yeah,
aim
so-
for.
Yeah, there was no
Nice.
questions.
Yep, no questions.
Yeah, just Ed.
I don't remember when we started making those up.
Hmm.
You should be like,
Exactly.
at one point I was like, man, we should do like questions from the community. And we were like, yeah. And then the first couple I just made up.
Yeah.
At episode
There you
3,
go.
you were saying like, oh, we do have an email if you wanted to email, but you didn't have any questions.
Exactly.
Nice.
Speaking of that, thanks for the segue. Let's get into some questions.
let's get into some questions, shall we? We're gonna start with email.
All right.
Preston Hood, I've been a long time listener and don't write in very often. I just wanted
thanks
to
a lot.
say,
Come on, Preston.
come on now. I just wanted to say that my wife and I are expecting player 3. Boom! Go, Preston!
Congratulations.
Nice.
Congratulations,
Way to go.
man. That is amazing. Get some sleep now.
Good job, Preston.
Yep, just rest up now and get ready for some games for those overnight feedings, baby. You got it.
Sleep
all
now
good.
because you'll never sleep again.
Right.
So I hear.
Get your games in now.
That's right. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Congrats
Yeah.
to you. You guys.
Moving on to the Discord, Mark Boucher. One of the things I've been having to do as part of the whole wedding planning process is figuring out the honeymoon. We're going to Boston/Cape Cod, as that's near where I'm from, and she's never been that far north. Where did you guys go for your honeymoon?
Disney World.
Nice. Ed.
Nice.
Nice.
West Palm, Florida.
Ooh. We did Hawaii.
Oh,
Nice.
We did Mexico for a day and a half. And
and then the restroom of the airport on the way back.
and Mexico will never be seeing my black tail ever again. They didn't do me right.
No.
It's all good, baby.
It was a terrible situation. And then we flew home. We had to spend all our money that we got for our wedding to change our flights to get back home, and then tried to salvage it by driving down to Atlanta for like a night. Hope your honeymoon goes good.
But look at you now, man. Look at you now.
Look at us
Right?
now.
Look
We're
at me
celebrating
now.
10 years in August.
Nice.
Look at me now.
There you go.
Look at you. See?
Got-
That's how it goes.
Got 3 children to show for it.
Three churn.
And I was bald before we got married, so I can't blame her on that.
That's right. Well, congratulations and happy honeymoon planning, and that's awesome.
Yeah. Don't drink the water. Wherever you go, don't drink the water.
Well, he's going to Boston, Cape Cod, so it's not bad.
Yeah,
It's not
don't drink
that
the water.
bad. Don't drink the. All right, Fluxel.
He's like, I'm going
what
to
is your-
Flint, Michigan. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Oh no.
Okay,
Come on now.
and we took
Aw,
it to
topical.
political. topical. Night show, topical. Anyway, Fluxel, what is your favorite summer activity? Go.
Video games.
Yeah.
Yep.
Video games.
This is a video
Boom.
game podcast, by the way. No surprises there.
Yeah.
Pool, barbecue, video games.
Yeah, I like riding the motorcycle, but I
When
ain't
is
been
that going to
riding
happen?
much.
Yeah, Stacy asked me today at work, or she texted me. She said, "Hey, do you want to invite friends and family over for 4th of July? Because for the pool and everything." I was like, "Yeah, we might as well. Because who knows? This might be the last time we're doing it." So
Hey, there you go.
Didn't
I
get
thought
my
you were gonna-
invite.
you
Yeah.
live too far away.
Did you get my zip code wrong?
I'll
It's gonna
check
show
my
up in,
spam
like-
for that
it's gonna-
Evite.
Let's go check the spam in my mailbox out in front
That's
of my
right.
house.
Right.
That's right.
You know what? I am going to make sure Stacy sends them to you now, so that you'll feel bad when you don't show up.
Ooh, all right.
I won't feel bad because I'm still RSVP. Like maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
You're
Can
gonna
I
have to
bring
get
a plus
extra
Just so
one?
you got to
just
cook.
in case.
Just you got to cook 2 more hamburgers,
Right.
just in case.
All right, moving on. Drolo. Summertime means amusement parks. What's your favorite amusement park and favorite amusement park ride? And then Matt Lighty says, and your favorite non-Disney park and ride, LOL.
I know because he knew I was gonna say Disney World.
Yeah.
Cedar Point, and
Yeah, it's a great one.
The Top Thrill Dragster.
Ooh.
That's actually not my favorite. I rode one just the other day. I don't know what my favorite one is. They're all roller coasters, but probably the Hulk at Universal Studios, Florida, is really good.
That's really cool.
Nice.
But Cedar Point, since I can't say Disney World.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been to an actual amusement park other than Disney World since when I used to live in Virginia in King's Dominion.
Mhm.
And
That was a long
whatever
time
that
ago.
yeah, that was a long time ago, back in Jesus time. And the one big roller coaster, that was my first roller coaster that I ever went on, and it was awesome.
There you go.
Don't even remember the name of it.
Kristoff?
I don't really go to. I don't go to ton outside of Disney, which we've been to like 3 times. I don't even remember the last time I went to a theme park or a what are they called? Are they called theme park?
Amusement park?
Amusement park. Good lord. See, I can't even remember what they're called. I grew up, here in Texas. We have Six Flags, the original Six Flags over Texas. They used to have this one ride that was for anybody that has been to Disney, they have this ride called the Tower of Terror, where you're basically like in an elevator and it goes up real high and it just drops you straight. They had a ride similar to that at Six Flags, but it's not even there anymore. So that would be my favorite ride, but I don't even remember what it was called.
You like those drops, huh?
Yeah, I don't do well with the twists and turns and go upside down and flip me all around.
Yeah,
but if
I
we're
can't
just
do them.
up and down and dropping, I can handle that all day.
Yeah, I can't do the spinning.
I get a
at
headache
all.
from
spinning.
the
I'd be like
all the way around stuff if it's too
Yeah.
fast or too much of it. Yeah.
Ed?
My favorite amusement park or theme park is Universal Studios Hollywood, and the ride is probably the tram ride through the back lot, just because it's always changing.
Loved
it's
it.
always different, and
That's
there's
cool.
always something cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, man.
I like that. That's a great answer.
All right, moving on. Kabowski, what is your wife's pet peeve that you tend to do?
Ooh. Pet peeve.
Man.
I'm a guy, so when I get angry, I get quiet,
Yeah.
and that drives her crazy.
Ooh, that drives her nuts.
Yeah,
Yep.
I didn't know you got angry.
it's because I'm quiet.
Ed? Ooh. So, mental note, when he's quiet, he's angry.
Yeah. So when he's ignoring your text, Tim.
Yeah, no kidding. What did I do, man? What did I do to you, man?
Oh,
We used to be like brothers. Mine is, especially when I get allergies or a cold, I sniff a lot. And of course, as you all know, and as the community knows, so
What?
Lawrence is like,
When you
She's
live,
like, blow-
you sniff a lot.
she's like, blow your nose. That's what she says to me.
Jenny doesn't like, I'm really good at starting things and not finishing them. And so I'm really good at starting the dishes, starting laundry,
Oh, good.
yeah.
starting to pick up something,
Listen,
and then just
you
leaving
got
it
3
half
kids.
done.
you got 3 kids. I get that.
Yeah, I was probably like that before the kids.
Well, okay, never mind.
Exactly.
I was trying to help you there, but I guess
Yeah, thanks. I
no
appreciate
more-
that.
You're on your own, brother.
Yeah, that's a pet peeve of hers that I do. Chris,
Chris?
Oh, man,
that beard.
No, I keep turning to her and say, "Hey, you want me to cut this?" And she
She's
doesn't
like,
say
nope,
anything.
nope.
Yeah, or she'll
Nope.
say no.
She's just too nice.
It's because she gets quiet like Ed.
Yeah,
That's right.
You
You
mad?
should read her blog.
I don't. There's nothing like that just really stands out. I will say that there are times where I'll say I'm going to do something, and that's in my time frame, and she might think that means, oh, well, I'm going to get up and do that now, and that's not at all what I mean.
Oh,
Right.
But I don't
Yep.
do it often enough for where
Yeah.
I feel like it's a pet peeve of hers. So I don't really
Like,
know
I'm going to
what
cut
her
the grass.
Yeah.
And then it's like
Yeah,
7,
it's
and
the
she's
old-
like, why don't you cut the grass yet? You're like, oh, I meant tomorrow.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's
like
the
we've
old
got until
space-time
Sunday.
continuum.
The weekend goes all the way
Right.
through Sunday, so I'll do it
Yeah.
then.
Exactly.
It's like an E3 announcement.
Yeah.
I didn't say
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Like when they first released Spider-Man, the Spider-Man trailer for the movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
You're like, coming out in 3 years. You're like, sweet.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I'll be sure to get my Fandango ticket.
That's
Right.
right. Right now. Yeah, exactly. Cat Jack, should games allow you to skip the credits if you want? Sitting through Titanfall campaign ones now.
I think it's,
sorry, man.
I think it's important to watch the credits, but I think they should let you skip them if you don't give a crap.
Well, it didn't used to be that a lot of credits at the end would have some sort of a little golden
Mhm.
nugget at the, like, I know some of them did, and that's why I always just let them roll. But I've seen a lot of games now allow you to skip.
Yeah. I think they
Mhm.
should not allow you to skip, but they should also speed up the scroll.
Yes, I'm down for that.
I
There you
don't.
go.
I don't mind if they let you skip. I tend to do the same as Gabe. As I'll let them go. But what I do not like is when they'll just go forever and they'll just keep looping because it's so long. It's like I can't tell that it
Yeah,
started
that's
over.
true.
I'm sitting here trying to be the nice guy
Yes.
and let it roll out, and you're showing this like the third time. Get out of here.
Taking advantage of a brother.
Exactly.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Don't
right, moving
don't
on.
mistake my kindness for weakness now.
Mhm.
That's right.
I'll press this X.
Right?
Moving on to Facebook, Antoine Stennett. Hey guys, how do you feel about difficulty levels in open world games? I wish games like The Witcher and Horizon Zero Dawn did not have them because I sometimes feel like I'm missing something like a trophy or more rewarding experience by playing an open world game on normal difficulty. GTA 5 does not give the player the option to change the difficulty, and it remains challenging and rewarding at the same time. So I'm assuming the AI adapts to how you're playing. Thanks for reading my question. I love the show. Appreciate you guys for creating such a welcoming community.
Hey.
I
Awesome, brother.
don't
Appreciate you
honestly.
too.
I can't remember an open world game that I played that had a difficulty that I had to choose. I don't remember one.
I don't remember one that I haven't had the option.
Really?
Yeah, I've always just done normal, and I've always felt
Yeah, I just always
fine
leave it
with
on
that.
normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
to be
Well,
honest.
but like
Yeah,
in Assassin, or I mean not Assassin's Creed, but like The Last of Us or Uncharted, linear games usually have that. But when I played like Black Flag, I don't remember it having a difficulty, and then I didn't have a difficulty in Horizon that I remember. Was there?
It probably
Tim?
does have it though, is what I'm saying.
No, it's there. Yeah, because I had normal. I put it on normal.
Shut
It was
my
there.
mouth. I guess I just never really realized.
Shut my mouth.
Well, shut my mouth. I love that. Man, that was Texas came out, man.
Shut my
That was
mouth.
great.
There's
Shut
a
my mouth.
stick in my
Well,
boot.
cornbread and hog maw.
Butter my biscuits.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Anybody else? I mean, I've seen difficulty levels. I'm not opposed to them. I think I
I
like
think they need to be
that
there.
you. Yeah, I think because it gives you an option, and if you want to go all in, go all in. If you don't, then fine.
Well, and we got to remember that unfortunately not everybody's good at video games.
Right.
it's true.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
that
saying?
is true.
So people need. I've talked to a lot of friends that only play on easy because that's how they can
Oh,
get
wow,
through
okay.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, sure.
they wouldn't be able to get, like, they're not great at first person shooters, but still want to have the experience of playing it and don't want to just die. You know, and I think it was Ed's talked about a couple times, like, was it you or Chris that talked about like switching it to easy for a second and then bumping it back to normal just to get past the part?
I think that was
I
Chris.
did that on
Yeah,
the order.
exactly.
Yeah, I did that too.
And so, you know, I think it's really important to have that. Just like the colorblind stuff, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think the cardinal sin for any developer is to make a game too hard that people just aren't going to play it. Like, give them those options. Like, even the normal.
Yeah,
I think,
Cuphead.
At least, yeah, exactly. Like, if that's the case, I'm playing that junk on easy or easy or whatever the easiest of easy is.
Yeah, if that
Just
junk is
because-
too hard, I'm playing Leave It at the Store.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Play it.
that's the
Watch the
number
Let's Play.
one cardinal sin.
Right?
That's right.
I'm hitting the
That's
play
exactly
button on
it.
the YouTube link.
On the YouTubes. I think that's an absolute missed opportunity if you don't allow some form of levels for the type of game that the gamers that are out there, because not everybody's as good at this one. Or like, I'm not the best FPS gamer, but you know, I'll still play like the Far Cries, and I keep them on normal mode. I'm not going to go nuts. So
And I don't think that
yeah,
there's
it's important.
for games that do have difficulty levels, there's usually not a trophy or achievement that's behind it outside of just beat the game
Yeah.
on hard. There's not usually like, this story mission's now somehow different on hard mode. It's usually the same thing. It's literally
Yeah.
just the number of AI that you have to fight against or how strong they are or something. So I don't.
Well, and if anything, you would play the game all the way through on normal, and then if you wanted to get another trophy, sometimes it's like play it on hard instead. And so if you know,
Yeah, and
It
it's usually
might-
just for
there
beating
might-
the game
there
on
may
a
be a
harder
trophy.
mode. Yeah.
exactly, there may be a trophy for that, but you're not missing anything because you've played the game all the way through and completed.
Yeah, there's
it.
not
So I don't
typically
think you're
like
missing anything
specific
there.
missions that are tied behind the hard mode.
Right.
I mean,
Right,
I'm sure
right.
there's somewhere out there is one, but that's not like the norm or anything.
Yeah, but we do know that
Right.
there's a lot of trophies hidden behind the difficulty level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that it just depends on whether or not you're a trophy hunter.
Did
and
somebody
you're,
say
you're
that
going
already?
For that.
I might have blanked out. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
And you can, I
You-
mean,
you
I know
ca-
some
you
people
came
don't
back-
want to do it because they don't want to steer clear of spoilers, but you can go into the achievement or trophy list and usually see, okay, they do have
Yeah.
one for hard mode. So you can decide right then. Because if you do, typically what will happen is if you beat a game on hard mode, well, it gives you the normal and easy mode trophies along with it. They don't make you actually play it again, but if you are going to go forward, you do have to do that. So
Right.
that
Yeah.
could be a reason to just go straight to hard if you're a glutton for punishment.
Exactly. Which I am not.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Antoine, for that. That was a great
Yeah, it was.
question.
That was
And
really
I
cool.
love this next question. D-High, how has doing the podcast changed your life? I love this one. I don't think we've ever gotten this one before. And I mean, I'll start. I mean, I've got 3 brothers I'm talking with right
There you
now.
go.
Yeah, Doc.
And from all over. I've got a community and a family of respectful and just, you know, fantastic listeners out there. This community that always gets gamers get such a beating for being immature and, you know, doing just really stupid stuff. And we don't have that problem because we
Yep.
have such an amazing community of people that are respectful. And, you know, Ed, the story that you had, what was it, 2 weeks ago, of the girl gamer that came on and was like, this
Oh,
is,
yeah,
you know, this is
Overwatch.
great. You know, like that was such a proud moment for me. I'm like, that is exactly what this is about and what it should be about.
Yeah.
So that's how it's changed my life, because I have a bigger gaming family, and I've got my other 3 brothers with me. So it's amazing.
Yeah, it's funny because there's been some. Yeah, I was already good buddies with Tim. I was already good buddies with Ed. I didn't know Hall, but like, even if I dumb this way down, so nobody be offended, I'm dumbing it way down. I'm announcing that I'm dumbing this way down. Don't be offended.
Will this part be dumbed down at all?
I'm dumbing this down so I just want everybody to know that so nobody's offended.
On the way down?
All the way down.
Okay.
I'm dumbing this down to 2 people.
Go.
Okay.
But my relationship with Chris McCracken and Jason Stansel,
dude,
like, came from this.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in their own small ways, even if they don't know it, they've changed my life. And so,
Nice.
And by the way, I'm dumbing this down.
I'm offended.
So if you're like, wait a second, my name should be in that pot. I'm dumbing this down to 2 people. But, you know, Chris.
Come on, man, I rolled with Jesus.
No, but Chris.
I'm just saying.
Chris coming along and like being somebody that we vacationed with at one point is like, is really weird for our family. We don't do that. Jenny doesn't just, you know, open the door up to, you know, even be interested in hanging out with somebody in that kind of way. But we really enjoyed ourselves, and he's become a dear, dear friend. And same with Stansel, meeting him the 2nd year I think I went to E3.
Yeah.
And the kindred spirit that, you know, that I found out that he was, to me was like just insane. You know what I mean? And so in a way, I've gained best friends because of this thing. And,
there you go.
And so that's obviously life changing.
Yep.
Ed?
Yeah, it's the combination of what you guys have already said. You know, it's guys that I talk to on a daily basis, you know, and I've never had that before. I've had really good, close guy friends. And I think that's important for any guy to have those tight guy friends. Your wife is your best friend. But you have to have a guy friend that you feel really tight with, just because you need that.
Yeah.
But I never had it where I talk to them on a daily basis, and I've got that now. You know, and I've got that with, you know, 4 guys. You know, it's identical to what Gabe said. It's Gabe, it's Tim, it's Chris, it's Stansel, and it's I would. There's no way I would have had that if the podcast wasn't around.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, you know, I wasn't a multiplayer guy before, so I never would have met Chris, never would have bumped into Tim, never would have bumped into Stansel. And my life is definitely different because I did.
And enriched.
Yep.
I want to just say different.
Yeah.
That's better.
I think that's
Yes.
that's the key word right there.
Chris McCracken?
Man, y'all trying to make me get all verklempt again up in here.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was the goal, baby. That was the goal. Let's make Chris cry
No,
tonight. Let's
it's
do
not
that.
happening.
Can we do that?
I'm gonna keep it together.
You go, hold it together.
Yeah.
Keep it together.
It's, I mean, my answer is not going to deviate too much from what the 3 of you guys have said, but I know. So I had, you grow up and you have different stages in your life, and you always have like a best friend, if you will. And
Sure.
In high school, I had this core group of friends that I just spent tons of time with, and I'm still in touch with most of them, but I don't see them on a daily basis. Some of them live across the country, and so I can remember when I was working and when I first met Stacy, before we were even dating, and then after we started dating, and then we got married. And I kind of turned to her at one point in time, and I was like, you know, she has this really close friend. Her name is Janice, that we hang out with a lot. In Oklahoma. They grew up, they're basically sisters. I mean, they don't even remember when they first met. They've known each other for so long.
Did I meet Janice?
I think that you did. Yes, you did. Yes, because she came to the Toby
Was that
show.
her and her kids?
Yeah, that was her and her kids.
Yeah.
And so
She was sweet.
their relationship, when I watched them the whole time we were dating, and then since we've been married, I was just kind of really jealous of that. It's like, and not in a negative or envious way. Like, I didn't want her to not have it, but I was just like, man, I don't have that. I don't have a guy that I can just turn to and talk to about almost anything and not have to worry about, you know, judgment or like, I can be vulnerable. I can be macho. I can be all the things that you just want to be with another guy. And I have my brothers, and I can be that way with them, to an extent, but I don't see them as much. And, they're family men, and they have lots going on in their lives as well. And I just was very jealous that I didn't have that. And ever since the podcast stuff has happened, not just being on it, but even a little bit before, it slowly started creeping in when I was just in the community and meeting people, and then coming on and being on the actual cast and just really getting to know you guys. And like Gabe had said, I had started getting to know him before even that. And just to see that, I remember telling her one day, I was like, this is just really something I feel like I need in my life. And I had to, pray and say, hey, help me find this in my life somewhere. And little did I know this is the way that it was going to happen. And
so
like
cool.
Ed was saying, I mean, I can reach out and talk to any of the four of you guys, the three of you guys, plus like Stancil at any time. And I don't ever feel like it's, I'm imposing or whatever. I feel like even if it takes you a little bit to get back, I just know you're busy and you're going to hit me right back when you have the time. And it can be about anything. And I really can't explain how that makes me feel. And then you add on top of that, just the community people that I've gotten to hang out with. I mean, there's been so many people that I've played, I start a party on PlayStation 4 and I'm jumping in, let's say Overwatch, and somebody jumps in and then we have this great, amazing time. And then they're hitting me up on Twitter afterwards saying, that was so much fun. Thank you so much for doing it. It's like, you don't have to thank me. I enjoy that just as much as you do. I mean, thank you for jumping in. Yep. I mean, it's ridiculous, the reciprocation that you get with all these people and that it just is so seamless.
It's sick.
Yeah, it's insane.
So great.
I love it, man. It's been an awesome thing. And I think that's why I never thought that the podcast would become as important to me as it has. But like, it's got its hooks in me so deep.
Yeah.
That like,
and there's I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's just like hard to think of not doing it or, whatever the next steps are. And, and I know that Hall had to step away for his reasons. But like getting to know
they were noble
these guys,
reasons, man.
They were great reasons.
Can't fault them for that at all.
Right. But it's just like, man, those days feel like, man, like what would I do? You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Tim?
Yeah, man. I almost lost it. There's a reason why we've done this 250 weeks straight without missing a beat. There's a reason why we do this. And it's a part of our lives now. Like, you guys are a part of our lives, and the more the merrier. And it just makes it so much fun. And Chris, like you said, like, I think we all collectively need this in our lives because this is our hobby. This is what we love to do. And to be able to share it with everybody in this format is incredible.
Yeah,
it really is. Exactly. D, thank you so much for that question. That was really great. We've got two more on Twitter. Gavin Irwin, if you could only afford one yearly subscription between Xbox Gold and PS Plus, which one would you choose?
If I could
a no-brainer for me.
One, I'd probably do the Nintendo Switch one because it's only $20 or $30 a year. I'm just kidding.
It's a good deal.
PS Plus for me.
PSN. Oh yeah, PS Plus.
Yep.
Xbox
Absolutely.
for me.
Yeah, I would be PS Plus as well. Just that's where I have the majority of my friends that I play on a more consistent basis with. So that kind of makes the decision for me. It's not really because of games with gold or games with PlayStation Plus. I necessarily love one over the other or anything. It's really just about where the majority of my friends are.
Yeah, and with the backwards compatibility, the Xbox One is really the better deal.
And because I don't have a Vita or a PS3, I get 4 games a month.
Yeah.
Where with the PlayStation, because I only have the 4, I only get 2.
Yep.
Granted, the 2 usually make up for the 4.
Yeah, they do.
But either way, you're getting great value with either one.
Yeah, they're both
worth
pretty
it.
much no-brainers. If you game, and especially if you game with friends at all, whichever system you go with, they're no-brainer purchases.
No brainer. Do it.
Yep, it should just go hand in hand. Great question. Final question at G Hammocks 14 or Graham. What is your guilty pleasure game? I love Saints Row 4, even though it is silly, plus not very aesthetically endowed.
I
would think for you guys it would be
pleasure.
Overwatch, right? Like, because you guys is
I wouldn't
Yeah,
call
but
it
it's
a
not
guilty
guilty
pleasure.
Yeah.
because it's so popular.
Like
It's
if I
true.
played Minecraft, that would be my guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And Ed, you're off the podcast.
I know, right?
I'm kidding.
Chris,
I
you
don't
have
know if
I
one?
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just that, like, just off the wall game that you can't get away from, and that's just a little weird.
Man, I don't think I have one that's not
Yeah.
that fits that criteria.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess for me, and it's really not, but the Far Cries are a little kind of off at times and weird and goofy. I mean, and I love those games, but it's not like a Saints Row 4, which is like super over the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah.
I
You
wouldn't
know what?
even-
I'll say the Stick of Truth. I'll say the
Yeah,
South Park
the
games.
South Park
that's
games, yeah,
that's
you
my
have
guilty pleasure because they're hilarious and wrong all at the same time.
Yeah, they're very wrong. Ed, were you
Yeah.
about to say one?
Yeah, I don't know that I have one because I don't have a game that I feel like I would feel if I just told someone I watched the Kardashians.
Right.
You know, I-
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm never embarrassed to say that I played something, so I don't know that I have one.
That is really funny. Chris?
I really can't think of one.
My guilty pleasure, only because of the podcast, feels like Heroes of the Storm. Because
Ooh,
like
really?
everybody kind of played it to get the Overwatch skin and then stopped playing it. And I'm the only one that's like, I'm still kind of playing it every now and then.
Oh.
That's
You
great.
shouldn't feel guilty about that, though.
No, don't feel guilty. Embrace the guiltiness.
Exactly. So that's my closest thing to having a guilty pleasure game.
Right.
That's
That's
awesome.
a funny question, though.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you, everybody, for all the questions. Really good stuff
Yeah.
tonight. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
So a little bit of an off the wall question.
Nice.
So I'll say it slowly to give you time to think. 30 years from
listening.
now, 30 years from now, who will be running gaming? So do we think that Sony and Microsoft will still be at the top? Will Nintendo have done something crazy to where they kind of are running the scene? Or do we think that somebody new will have come along in 30 years and be kind of the top dog in gaming? Chris?
So I'm not gonna predict like some new person that we don't know about because that could be the thing, but I think it'd be more fun to answer the other way. I think in 30 years, at the moment, if things go out the way some are anticipating it's going, I think it's possible that Microsoft could be the lead.
The big dog?
Yeah, simply because it's some people are of the opinion that Microsoft is slowly working themselves to becoming to where Xbox is just the gaming platform, and it's just kind of like Steam in a way where it's just the platform that serves up the games. They might have some hardware pieces, but they're not really like a console manufacturer anymore. They just make a few things, but really it's just they're just selling Xbox the service and everything funnels through that. Because I see if they ended up going that way, they could definitely like correct all the mistakes and problems that people have with Steam and do it better because they've been able to sit back and watch how Steam does things.
I tell you what, man, Steam will be a big thing to try to jump over on the PC side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I feel like of everybody out there at the moment, besides maybe Blizzard, if they were to open it up to many games, I think Microsoft could do it, has a better shot at doing it than anybody else.
Right.
Mm.
Ed?
I think it's going to be the same too. I think it's going to be like the Coke and Pepsi of gaming. Coke and Pepsi have been at it for years and years, and they probably still will be. And I think it's still going to be Sony and Xbox. I think, I don't know Nintendo is so huge. They're such a big company, but I don't have a lot of faith in them just because, like you say, they keep dipping into the nostalgia characters and the same thing over and over. They're not really developing a lot of new stuff. And eventually they've got to get new fans.
Right.
And I don't know. I think it'll be.
I tell you what, the only argument I would have for Nintendo being the number one in 30 years is because they're not really a part of the competition.
Right.
So they could leapfrog Sony and Microsoft some weird, kind of like the Wii did. The Wii could not be found.
Mm-hmm.
And so they kind of like, they didn't rule the roost when it came to just gaming overall, but they they did what they set out to do and did it well there for like 2-3 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
that's my answer, but that would just be my only defense for Nintendo, because Nintendo's not in direct competition with Xbox and
No,
Yeah.
PlayStation.
they're not.
I don't think they've ever wanted to be.
Yeah, and
be honest.
they've definitely shown that
They've
like
always beaten to their own drum.
yeah, they're like
so
that's not
it's-
what we're trying to do is best graphics and adult games.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right.
Tim, what you think?
I've got two theories. One is there will be a company called MicroStation, and I think both Xbox and One will come together at some point. I think the
Wow.
consoles will come together, and if that's a big merger, then that's it. That's game over. They've got it. I think Sony has way better first-party developers than Microsoft. So I actually am disagreeing with Chris in that I think it's going to flip because Sony's got the better content versus Microsoft has the better infrastructure, in my opinion. But we'll see. So that's one theory, that the consoles will all unite as one.
Mm-hmm.
The second is that the consoles will completely disappear and PC gaming will take over because the technology will become cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and people will start waking up and being like, oh, these graphics on PC is way better and have been here longer than any of the consoles have. And as long as we have our controllers, I think we'll be fine. So
Yeah.
it could go either way. But
That's kind of along the
Steam
lines
being-
of what I was thinking. Like instead
yeah,
of
Steam being the beast that it is, it's not going away. And, there's so many, games just look so good on a PC anyway, regardless.
Yeah.
But I think the console is just the dumbed down version of that for the general public. And I think that will all be merged together.
what a glorious thing. I think because of competition, we'll always have, I don't want to say always have consoles, but I think there'll
you're
always
right.
be a box that you connect just to the living room television
Yes.
that does
exactly.
a thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I think you're right. You might be right.
But that being said, I do think that gaming, who rules the roost in 30 years, and obviously this is all just guessing. Nobody
Mhm.
knows.
Of course.
But
It's fun.
I do think that PC gaming could take over. I mean, they're called the master race for a reason. But it's like if they,
Hey, whoa.
yeah, I know, sorry, but
By them.
But like there is something to the fact that like PCs are always backwards compatible. There's no like too old a game
Yeah.
to play. Like there's always evolving and changing. However, you're still able to go back and play some of the things that you loved in the past. And so I think that PC gaming could like get a big push, and like Tim saying, because it's gonna get cheaper than the consoles to get a better experience.
And honestly, like just for me, I probably would switch over to PC gaming. What's daunting for me is even watching your video
That very
game is
first
that
build.
you have to figure out you have to plan out all of your builds. If somebody comes along and be like, boom, here it is in one big box, we've gotten everything done for you, and
Which is the
a great
PlayStation.
price point. Well, yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. Like I think there is that little gap there because it is very daunting. If you don't know what you're doing,
Mhm.
you could go down a very expensive rabbit hole and come up with a
But
crap
I think
PC.
I think that like the Steam boxes had such a great idea.
Yeah, because it's an all-in-one.
I mean, and just somehow they didn't work. And I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
over, but like, dang it, that was a great idea to have a PC that could run all the Steam games. I mean, the library is ginormous.
Right.
I mean, but all the Steam boxes are consoles just built in with, and some
no,
of them
I understand
had,
that with a shell on them.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
kind of what I was gonna say, or kind of to go with what y'all were saying before, what Tim was saying, and kind of counter to what you're saying. I don't think PC gaming will ever. I think console gaming, kind of similar to what you said, is always going to be around in some shape or form. I do think PC
Yeah,
gaming
right.
will always continue to grow because I think it always has continued to grow. But I still think it's always going to be, to some extent, the niche kind of market. I don't think
Sure.
it's regardless, because no matter, yes, technology gets cheaper and cheaper, but it also gets new stuff comes out and that stuff's still expensive. It's still going to always be
Right.
to be on the bleeding edge, which is where PC gamers want to be and where people who make PC games want them to be, because they want to be pushing the highest frame rates and the highest resolutions. You're always going to have to be on the cutting edge to some extent. And I don't think
Right.
that's ever going to be a cheap thing. It's always going to be expensive, whether you buy it
Right.
yourself or sell it out. The thing that I
Yeah,
wanted to say,
agree.
kind of like with Tim was saying a little bit, and doubling back a bit on what I was saying in some speculation, kind of wild theories of where people are going. Think about it this way. So recently, this is not a story that I had in the news stories, but there was that whole thing about how Microsoft came out with at their Xbox conference, Minecraft is going to be playable across everything. And
Yes.
so like Xbox people can play with the Switch people or PC people or whatever. And noticeably absent from that list was was from Sony. Sony's not on there, so they're not going to be part of this system. And they've said some pretty goofy reasons as to why they don't allow crossplay with Xbox on Rocket League, for instance, even though they do have crossplay with PC. But in that instance in particular, it made sense to me because it came out that the people on the PC, the people on the Xbox, obviously, and then on the Switch and even on iOS and Android, any of those platforms that accept it, the user has to go in there and sign in with Xbox Live to play the game.
Ha!
So
Right.
I don't fault Sony
Boom.
at all
Data.
about saying, hey, we're not going to allow people on our system, or we don't want people in our system to sign into their Xbox Live to play with people.
we
That's
can't
like
get
a
their
Trojan
names.
horse that we don't need. But think about it this
Yeah.
way. Let's say that Xbox gets out of hardware like mainstay. They do make a few things here kind of similar to how Steam did with the Steam box, but they're like, hey, we're not really a hardware company. We're not making Xboxes
Like Sega?
anymore. Xbox is just a system similar to Steam or a platform where we distribute games. What if Xbox, the system, the platform, if you will, the backbone for all of the gaming, like multiplayer gaming and all that, what if that just became a service and PlayStation had Xbox Live on there? So PlayStation makes the consoles and the games are just served up through Xbox Live. Then that's when
Wow.
you get the merging, if you will, like Tim said, or the best of both worlds, because you get Sony making the hardware, which they've always excelled really well at. Granted, the Xbox One X is the most powerful, blah, blah, blah. That's not what you know what I'm getting at. And
Yeah,
then
but Sony's going to catch up to that anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like
But then you have Xbox, who has always excelled, at least in the public's eye and in everything, and in all these measurables that excel at the network side. So if they merged that way, where Xbox said, okay, we're not making competing hardware anymore, we're just going to be the platform that serves up the games in the service, and Sony's going to be the way that you attach to it and play them. That could be something
I
that
like where
happens.
this is going, man.
I could
I
see
really
that
like
happening.
where that's going.
Because it makes
That'd
sense,
be crazy.
because we've been talking about before about how, crossplay, we want crossplay, and I've been beating this drum about, look, crossplay is irrelevant if you don't have some type of unified party system across all of the platforms, and that's not going to happen.
Talk and party up. Yeah.
But what if the backbone unified platform was just Xbox Live, and whether it's PC or Switch or it's PlayStation, they all just connect, and that's the network infrastructure for all the online gaming? Then you have a unified party system. Then it doesn't matter which piece of hardware you're playing on. Assuming
That's true.
assuming it's not like a multiplayer, where competitive kind of thing. Yeah, there's definitely advantages and disadvantages there. But if it's like Minecraft, even though they do have a lot of multiplayer modes, for the most part, most people are in there just like building a world together. It's like it doesn't matter if I'm getting 2,000 frames a second and you're getting 40.
Mhm.
That could be a crazy thing that could happen in 30 years.
Nice. I like it. I like it.
I like it a lot too. Or they could both be gone.
That's true.
Right?
And the machines take over and we all die a horrible death.
Exactly. I mean, they could go the way of Sega or Atari.
The
or
games take over and put
Jaguar.
us in an arena, and we're the game that they're playing for their amusement.
Yeah, not again.
No.
Yeah, you got me the first time. Well, let us know what you guys think, man. Who's gonna be running this thing in about 30 years?
Whoop.
You guys are gonna have way better answers than us, and I think that we had some good answers.
I think so too.
Let us know, man. Use hashtag answer MTTG. We appreciate you guys so much. I'm Gabe Patillo. That is Tim Router. That is Ed Placencia. That is Chris McCracken. And we are married to the games, and we're up out this thing. Peace!
Tim, I totally thought you were going to do the dad joke question. I had one all queued up and everything.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was like, we're running out of time,
Yeah.
and I didn't have any.
What was your dad joke?
My dad
what was your
joke
dad
was
joke?
going to be, how do you get holy water? You boil the hell out of it.
Wah, 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 wah.
Oh, man.